Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power.
Which was published on the 4th of August. Paragraph 13 of that report speaks about the domestic good purchase program. And that is what it says. DGPP operations have generated significant losses for BOG. Losses in 2024. So if you are watching me, you should be asking yourself whether there was gold board in 2024. Losses in 2024 were equivalent to almost $400 million, 0.5% of GDP, 1/3 of which were related to gold for oil. In 2025, the significant scaling up of domestic gold purchase operations led to losses of over $1.7 billion. So the IMF tells you what led to the losses. They are saying the significant scaling up of the program. It is there, black and white. Then, almost entirely related to G4R purchases. This amounted to a loss of 17% of the value of Dory gold sold by the BOG. Losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of service. This was the only reference to the gold board here. So listen, losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of service and asset fees paid to gold board, discounts on gold sold to off-takers, and most importantly, exchange rate losses from the spread between Forest Bureau rates paid to purchase gold and the CD reference rate used for BOG accounting. Survey data suggests that Ghanaian ASGM prices are among the highest in the region. These accounting losses partly reflect valuation effects rather than economic cost. Blah, blah, blah. These are the relevant portions. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the words of the IMF. Not to suggest that the words of the IMF are sacrosanct, but it is important for us not to attribute to the IMF what they have not said. They have not said that the gold board is the one that caused the Bank of Ghana to lose $1.7 billion, as I have clearly demonstrated to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, aside the fact that the new false narrative of Afenyo Marking grossly misrepresents the IMF's neither was it involved in determining selling prices or sale terms. In commodity trading, profit is simply a function of selling price minus cost. The IMF states that the reported losses stem from the sale of gold by the Bank of Ghana, not the sale of gold by the PMMC. If the PMMC, which later became Gold Board, had no role in the sale of gold it purchased, then it cannot be said to be responsible for losses incurred through the sale of gold by the BOG, simply because it bought gold as a buying agent and was paid fees. In any case, the under reference IMF report says that the BOG incurred a loss of $400 million from gold sales under the domestic gold purchase program in the year 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, there was no gold board in the year 2024. Who then caused that loss? Can Afenyo Marking answer this simple question? If we are to accept his argument that losses under domestic gold purchase program are attributable to buying agents, then is Afenyo Marking saying that buying agents in 2024 caused the loss of $400 million? And those buying agents were the PMMC and a private company called Resafire. So why are they not blaming PMMC and Resafire for causing $400 million loss to the Bank of Ghana? Also, in 2025, the Bank of Ghana used a private aggregator called Resafire to buy and aggregate gold under the domestic gold purchase program from January to May 20. Clause 12, buyer, the buyer is Bank of Ghana and the agent is PMMC. Buyer shall bear the cost of assay, which shall be the prevailing rate of assaying Dory gold. The assay invoice shall be submitted to the buyer on the first week of every month for payment. 13, buyer shall bear the buying agent service charge, the buying agent service charge, into bracket operational cost of 0.5% of the utilized portion of advance funds for acting as buying agent or buyer, unless otherwise agreed in writing between the parties. The service charge or fee shall cater for logistics and transport cost, insurance, security, smelting loss, and trade margins. The service charge or fee shall be reviewed annually by both parties as market condition changes. This is in the 2023 gold purchase agreement. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if the gold board is to blame for losses incurred by the Bank of Ghana in 2025 because it was paid a legitimate fee for its services, who then caused the losses of the Bank of Ghana in 2022, 2023, and 2024 under the domestic gold purchase program? It means that all the people the Bank of Ghana paid fees to, the same fee, they caused the loss. That is what they are saying. Was it the PMMC or the Resafire? Afenyo Marking should answer this question too. Is he saying that losses incurred by MEF in their gold trade or any other private gold exporter is attributable to the PMMC or Gold Board because we charge and we're paid a lawful fee approved by Parliament for our assay fees? Then we should be charging Parliament rather for causing the loss because Parliament approved the fees. Ladies and gentlemen, are losses incurred by Cocoa Board blamed on its license buying companies because they are paid a margin of 12.75% on the producer price? This same buying agent arrangement between Bank of Ghana, Red Sapphire, PMMC, Gold Board is the same arrangement that governs how cocoa is purchased. And what is that arrangement? Cocoa Board gives seed money to license buying companies that go and buy cocoa. And when you bring the cocoa, I will pay you a margin of 12, not 0.5, 12.75%. So it means that every year when Cocoa Board declares losses, we should blame the losses on license buying companies because they will pay fees. That is the paucity of reasoning being canvassed by Afenyo Marken and his followers. Is it right for an exporter or trader or business who incur, like media houses, you all have businesses, you have service providers, you have agents who you pay fees, your technicians, your plumbers. Your fee, the fee you pay is part of your cost, and you are therefore supposed to ensure that your revenue, or if you are trading a commodity, your selling price is enough to cater your cost. If you don't do that and you get a loss, you don't blame your plumber or your technician or your service providers who performed services and were paid fees for their services as a reason for your loss. Where in the world is one body corporate blamed for accounting losses incurred by another independent, separate, and distinct body corporate without any evidentiary basis? Ladies and gentlemen, the IMF says that reported losses under the domestic gold purchase program in 2025 largely stem from the spread between Forex Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the CD reference rate used for BOG's accounting. And that since Gold Board, MPP says, not the MPP, the Afenyo Marken, says, because Gold Board was the one buying the gold, then Gold Board should be blamed because of the gap between the Forex Bureau rate and the Bank of Ghana rate. The answer is very simple. The September 2023 gold purchase agreement that I've shown you, which predates Sami Jenfi and the Gold Board in this conversation, provides for the price and exchange rate at which gold is to be bought by PMMC and, for that matter, every buying agent. These are express prescriptions of the principle captured in a signed contract that predates the Gold Board. A buying agent cannot vary agreed terms in a written contract without consequences. Afenyo Marken should tell Ghanaians at what price and exchange rate was gold bought by buying agents such as PMMC and Red Sapphire. And I'm going to publish that tomorrow. They were buying gold at exchange rates as high as 17 Ghana cedis in 2024. So when you agents were buying gold at 17 Ghana cedis to the dollar, because you had so mismanaged the economy that at some point you needed 16, 17 cedis to get a dollar. And that is the exchange rate at which you were buying gold. You are saying that PMMC was causing losses for the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana designed under the domestic gold purchase program that because they were in crisis and they needed foreign exchange, they will buy gold at the exchange rate. That gold has been bought since we started mining gold over a century ago. This is not the creation of Gold Board, which was established in April 2025. Then the fourth claim under this new theory that, Gold Board has not made losses, but Gold Board is responsible for losses made by Bank of Ghana. They say that the reported domestic gold purchase program losses stems from Gold Board's trade model and that the program was implemented through the Gold Board in 2025. So Gold Board is responsible. Ladies and gentlemen, although the Gold Board was established in April 2025, it was not until March 2026 that it commenced the implementation of its trade model envisaged under the Gold Board Act. This is because the Gold Board received its revolving seed capital budgeted for it in the 2025 budget as late as 30th December 2025. Also, the Gold Board had to put in place the necessary institutional measures and systems before takeoff. The trade model implemented by the Bank of Ghana in the year 2025, which the IMF has reported on, was evidently the domestic gold purchase program model. When did the domestic gold purchase program become Gold Board's trade model? And how can the domestic gold purchase program that the MPP in the past have given the credit, to Bawumia for, be said to be arising, losses under that program be said to be arising from a gold board model, when the gold board model only started in March 2026 because of what I've already.
Monday afternoon, we are back here in Mamunina Hama Kwaba. Obviously, in say na Juada, but we my basa a free and opening in Suagusa. So, your best red drivers are more long journeys. More motorway and other places. Your best say more be taking it easy. And yeah, my fana say ma otu dakon. And Timo so my last week we are back again and we are here to work for Mother Ghana Citizen Show. Accra FM, the down number is 100.5, powered by Class Media Group CMG to be precise. And yeah, we are ready to go. Kure. Let's do this.
Our seed capital coming as late as 30th December 2025, and the need for us to put in place the necessary institutional, systems and framework before takeoff. Then they make another claim in their press statement that the reported domestic gold purchase program losses is partly caused by hidden offtake discounts determined by Gold Board. The answer is also very simple. As I've already explained, ladies and gentlemen, the PMMC or Gold Board was only a buying agent under the domestic gold purchase program. Its role ended at buying gold. It had no role in selling gold or signing offtake agreements. Therefore, it could not determine offtake discounts. It must, however, be noted that offtake discounts are a standard feature of gold doré trades. The BOG did extremely well in 2025 in reducing offtake discounts from as high as 2.2% in 2024 under the MPP to 1.2% in 2025. This fact can be verified by anyone from the BOG, and this offtake discounts, cannot by any stretch of imagination be the reason for reported losses. Because discounts are a standard feature for particularly the sale of doré gold, raw gold, anywhere in the world. You sell gold, if you're selling gold in its raw form, and even in its refined form, there is a discount. And you don't see that losses are as a result of that, unless you can show that the discounts were unreasonably high and not in conformity with industry practice. Now, other false claims that I'll deal with quickly and then I'll conclude. The Gold Board, Afenyo Markin says that the Gold Board has sold gold and made losses, and that no one should sell gold and make losses. When they turn gold, Boka says those who recorded $400 million loss under domestic gold purchase program in 2024, according to the IMF they are quoting. And this is also coming from the same people under whose tenure another state institution, MIF, implemented a gold purchase program and recorded losses to the tune of over $90 million. Today, they want to give us lectures on gold trading. Ladies and gentlemen, I have news for them. We will not take moral lessons from the brothel. Then number two, they say, why has the Bank of Ghana pulled out of financing the Gold Board if Gold Board is not making losses? Number one, the Bank of Ghana has not pulled out from anything. The MPP government decided that it will run a program called Domestic Gold Purchase Program, which will be managed by the Bank of Ghana. And they designed that program in a certain way, which I will talk about it. President Mahama promised to reset Ghana, including the gold trade sector. And his reset is the Gold Board. The act has been passed and the Gold Board is ready for takeoff. And so this new Gold Board model, as envisioned under the Gold Board Act, is not anchored on Bank of Ghana financing Gold Board. The Gold Board has been given the powers under Section 18 of the Gold Board Act by Parliament to raise money for itself from the financial markets. And so if the Gold Board wants to assert that statutory mandate, and for that matter, the Bank of Ghana has to end what it was doing under the domestic gold purchase program, you don't look at that and say, oh, that means Gold Board was doing something wrong. I can tell you that as we speak, the IMF and the Bank of Ghana are all engaging Gold Board that they still want to be our fiscal agents under the Gold Board model, where they will be raising money for us as an intermediary. It is the Gold Board that is rather saying no. we would do it ourselves. So that claim is not true. And then you hear him say that, oh, Gold Board was being paid some fees, and it is because of the noise they made that the fees were reduced. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I brought evidence here, and if you need the evidence, I'll give it to you. That evidence is a letter dated October 29, 2025, way before the NPP ever held a press conference on Gold Board or Domestic Gold Purchase Program in 2025. Because the first press conference they held in the aftermath of the IMF report on Domestic Gold Purchase Program was in December. If you recall, we were celebrating Christmas at the time, December 2025. But by October 29, 2025, the Gold Board and Bank of Ghana, through negotiations, had reduced the fees to 0.6. Does that mean there was something wrong? No. What it meant was that the Gold Board was more efficient in aggregating gold, that they didn't need 0.75%. We conceded upon request by Bank of Ghana that we could do with little and still achieve better results.
Thank you all for joining us here. Kwame, me pacho, and the cleanup no, yeah, the cleanup no be free fee. And the cleanup no be free fee. So let me start from NDC. You ever clean up no free fee? Yeah, Kwame. Sa 24-hour economy market no almost no. I don't know who is in charge. Was it Saturday? I'm say Saturday na me say Busitano Ebeka say the secretariat no, they are not responsible, because you see it doesn't make sense say ubu market yegu say usi 24-hour market. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Clean up ni biwa. You see, we can't vote for a party. Na party no abemwa as obi a zombie, as obi a Jimmy. It's like when something is wrong, nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody is quiet. You know, be actually bang, 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 bang. But definitely a better local government, I say, right? Okay, so let me give you a typical example. Our new over the weekend market. Yeah, I think some people time no almost a chance so musi. So market in a week. Just that a uncompleted market, but the structures are new. Now, Omako Boo market negusom baba besi 24-hour market. I saw the video and I'm like, for real, does it make sense? Omako fre MC ni baya, MC ni se onu onim. Oh, to be honest, I don't know who is in charge. Ben Bakrono onyu sunyansa kakra. Yes, there are yemfa baby to Agbogloshi. Agbogloshi ewo ye capital city. Central business town here facelift. And baby to say Agbogloshi. Near see be modernize no. I'm baby to say ya baby to say Kumasi KJT idea. I'm all for it. What you say? In any case, but we are saying toilet no kosi no ho. Na say this is one see toilet into so umbesi marketer. Ewa Agbogloshia. Fine. But so go do a be a municipal district baby. Na MPPSC market dada. And also almost a project be as omo anyi. Na wako buogu say oh baba besi market. What about that man now wajimi? Kwame ntimu so almost say adia I don't know the person behind this stupidity. What to market? What bu market negu? Oba besi market. Now I mean, I'm not for an granting. What Jimmy now? What a papa video was into what Jimmy and Kaun say. I know. I don't think it's right, and so authorities need to hear. When you see, you're too Abamawa. It doesn't mean you can do whatever you want and walk away free. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And to say, we use this microphone to push an agenda. The agenda should be positive agenda. Negatives, we don't want it. No, we don't need it. So what do a Krobisuna say, dear market anywhere, Nasa will say, Usi market, and as if your market in the old market, they don't have toilet, blah blah blah. Yes, we agree. You modernize it, we agree. Tafo, I think 2015 President Mahama Osibi Okumase Tafo. Then Emza Kwada so then Aswase. Yes, I agree. But hey, me kobu marketer okoya no MPP for SCBA. Sika na dey kosi 24 hour no. Toaso na wie. Ghana for Japade. You can even expand it. Oh, but you see Kwame, yeah, you know, krono nti obebu the MPP yeah no egu form. No, or the budget say oh we're discussing about 24-hour market. No, we di. Oh, Jimmy Krono Fasobia ni so. Kasi asamo kwa Jimmy Krono Fasobia ni so. So kwa an MPP aye bi nesi wona e muna. Leave it. Let it. I mean, complete it. We nanya fine. Governance a continuation. Oba na umese obi said the oyane ye don't come and destroy it. Don't destroy it. Oh yes, yenu benya problem. I'm telling you. Oh yes, yenu benya problem. Ye person mbu o man in such a way that ye nchirima beba no ye benya good story akachire omo. Ye mben kwasi asem. And somebody should talk to somebody. Minimum pakura oh yes no. Somebody should talk to somebody. These are Obi antiase munjai sa. Your friend say me hu say NLA akwa no o so asiri so eye pa eye so ma so asiri so. Sa kwa nyansa ba kokure eni nitirimu sa NLA akwa no minim nipa kura o forso ya de ne be se o na sese e ka no yeah abro ne bayi abro ne bayi we can use hate and envy to run a country. Oba na se me se MPP dachi bi eba na say almost NDC ayade no mbebubu agua menya problem ho menya problem. Why? They went to La General Hospital ekobubu La General Hospital go from without building it back. Akufo-Addo na ono awa TB mian e wo nipa nsa no because John Mahama AC a rage. Let's leave the old one. Now yensi new one. The old one will be holding patients kakra and we'll see new one. So nyansani ya dia na Akufo-Addo Jimini no bayi enti no oba na obebu La General Hospital ni nyina gu from then na eso mo labadi any those areas ni nyina tashi eso mo hospital e wo rage enti na ma rage any 37 achoki wahu say Jimini edi wo man animu a that is how it is. Say Jimini edi wo man animu a esa na so we China nke twetwa mu tie free so China nke ese twetwa mu nyina ti free so no obi aye free because no ye kwasi asem sa anyway so that is one issue. Kwame mami move quick and rent rent control. So acting commissioner your friend is saying Frederick what? Opoku. Okay, all right. So you can put his picture here for me. Just show it on the screen. And I think this guy is just doing a fantastic job. Sharp. Me say free various hostels. Yeah, Kwame. Nkolane bread with rental. Nkolane bro. Accra say Nkolane bro. Kumasi Nkolane bro. Because when you have like Obi Awadi 20 something years. Let me check. I'm out for sending me various informations. Okay, all right. So thank you. When you have Obi Awadi by 21, 22, 23, ontimi high dine ewa and crying. Ontimi high dine o Kumasi, ontimi high dine o Takrade Tema. Obo brabe. Omo brabia. So all right. So this is the guy. This is the guy, Frederick, a very nice gentleman. Initially, Obaye no, Miti se nkrofo bi be de say oh oye MPP ni mewa na efo
na some of the NDC for ni
no me so NDC ni oye MPP ni okay all right okay
so one interview on rent we opposition time
so
opposition time not rent
oba eya penima me penima me o yeah juma pa oh yeah juma Eric Mensah say Bobie we are in a modern world so let them build modern markets because Mahama is not like Akufo-Addo. Eric Mensah modern markets be na issue oko awonwi in the end is betimi akwa see market ya de left and afro ewa awonwi enye nuane nchansi ya Akufo-Addo de boss wa na omo de ko boss eya mamo nya sa o mamo nya sa se me support NDC ntino sa de ne esi na se enya na jori obi anim nyansa so beka se ade na esi ni enya de papa mensa mamo nya sa yes I be say o man no what destroy the country ni eja ho enkola no na esofa ade na ye na nye na ade no what to agum wholesale there be 24 you can target some places and do it yes I fine mensa mama so ade boni so NDC ntisa NDC party no rolling stay no the spirit of the party is that when you see wrong and the end of the 1979 revolution by that you don't allow wrongs to go on. Some of us we are the students of Rollins theology and because of that Rollins spirit we understand criticisms. So bone koswa hwe nipa nanim na ka kire say look ade na wo ye no enye fine. We can't behave like MPP. No way. We can't behave like MPP. No way. We can be hypocrites. Your governance, your buying here running. So when you see wrong, talk about it. Akufo-Addo, the first Akufo-Addo, yes, there is no way you can even compare Akufo-Addo to Mahama. Just wabadam. JM is living in his own world. I mean, he's up there. However, a human institution, so you see some small, you know, but let me come back to the rent issue. So this man, Kwame, I was saying 2 or 3, 4. But okay, so Papa we about pro ako yeah, whichever one I'll be sure and I'm fine. Rent, I know I say hostel fee, I say. And you see, these are little things. Me say, me kwase me to NDC are buying for. They should address it. And here, we are talking about CD appreciation. We are talking about fuel prices are stable. We are talking about Adriania, Ebwa, Abeba from rice, maize. Yes. We appreciate it. It's good. The economic indicators are good. We agree. Yes, you be the businessman kofaniama the dollar na kofa ba to say ahodin wom. Yeah, that's it. But you see enkwala no so no a ye we nyina ma wo no. If we are not able to shelter them, a problem. And sometimes I cry. Akwala akwa hind dan. Yes, say a free viewing fee. Ye di nipa na ko o kohwe dan no. Umpo, yes, 150 Ghana cedis. Baby 200. Agent na ordinary kono on etua ni Uber. So mbechini akọ 3 places a on etua. When ya dan ni bi awie no. Agent no se bia obetua 10,000 na ama efiewura no a otua sa 10,000 numu so 10% ama agent. Why?
So this is a wooden structure. Yes. This is a wooden structure. And we have 2 in a room here. It's a wooden structure. So this is a wooden structure. Yes. This is a wooden structure. So this is a wooden structure. Yes. This is a wooden structure, and we have two in a room here. It's a wooden structure like this. So this is a wooden structure. We have two. They are taking them 10,000 cedis. And this is my hand. You can see I'm here. My hand. This is what I'm talking about. Now this is the last end. This here. So you can see that I've stretched my hand. And if this is not criminal, it is what? And they are taking 5,000. So this is a wooden structure. Yes. This is a wooden structure, and we have two in a room here. It's a wooden structure like this. So this is a wooden structure. We have two. They are taking them 10,000 cedis. And this is my hand. You can see I'm here. My hand. This is what I'm talking about. Now this is the last end. This here. So you can see that.
And Kwame, just imagine, and Kwalawe eja tomwa 5,000. What was your friend? Ambassador Hostel, Ambassador Gardens Hostel, Kumasi. And what they in Nia, and aye, and what you almost 5,000 per semester per one person. In Jomia say, if you are 4, if you are 3, if you are 2. Charlie. Oh, Kwame, say, I'm marketing it way. And this new people ni unkomo. Yeah, they don't. You never see them debating over it. But also, and can we plan and say a national conversation? How many weeks near the a gold board? 1.7 billion. Whether it's true or it's not true, extortion is for you. But when and KSM Koma, KSM develop your Drubia, when you go to Europe and those places, a young Koma when here or more. Yeah, this is the real conversation. Shelter. Real conversation. Come in case enka yatrese and this new MPP kwa kese ye niema say ho. Not when some minority leader be our about them be we go and conjure some figures be somewhere, because omufi say tete politics then Crawford the Crawford money corruption into the young can and Crawford trim. You understand? Yen can and concrete trim Tiebeka sa corruption. Aha. No. See, and can somewhere can come ye dieni. Oh. Back office says, I've been saying this. The 24-hour market shouldn't just be placed at anywhere. It should be strategic. Eric Oppos's commander, my younger brother is in level 300 at KNST and renting a private hostel at 5,000 Ghana cedis a year for 3 in a room is not easy, Bobie. And I saw there was a year. Every day a semester. Our first says it is good move to build modern markets moving forward. There is nothing wrong with that. Your ancestors said the same thing about motorway and Kosomo dam. Okay, so Invisible Younger says, okay, so let me move to Kwashi Agokpa and Alex Klugan. Also, Bobie, the rent issue in Accra is killing us. So I pray you can only dedicate today's program on rent issue. And like you said, NDC must do something serious about this. Francis Sabla says, Commander, please talk about the NLA. The man in charge is seriously making the government unpopular and the Lotto fraternity. He wants to collapse banker-to-banker business. All right? So, Sakwan Wabodam. Sakwan, minim di odin kotra NLA. Wabodam. So Kwabena says just open the phone lines for 10 minutes and better stories. Daniel do after Commander when it comes to the issue of rent and hostel accommodation as someone Bruce Smith says good afternoon, Commander Boham. All right, so Kwame, you see, we have very serious matters on the table. Akwala Eco School University. And mind you, Kwame, unim say ubetimi afa yemfa ne say Central University. Kwame, trust me, say Ura Central University about 60%. Should I say 60%? Let's say 50% of the students and our parents never want 10 bia nebuafobia oshia no 40 eyomo ankasa. I'm telling you. Eyomo ankasa. Now catch akwala we say on rent hostel 2 for 1 room. Obi etua 5,000, 4,000 per semester. Baby wa in so ma. Baby wa in so ma. They need to go and buy water. Baby wa, I mean, yeah, that is the reality. Hey. And my man rent to hostel my own them. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad. Someone rehosem and
do so. That but my papa. I do so. I do so. Oko ka say you better say onye ni papa. Hwe bibia adisi host to ha na do so. That but my go SD. Say tell us what shoe. That the ha na boys ni nyina eduale wo. Say ana boys ni nyina eduale wo. Esa say president to crow back and yamase no. Red control papa na ka so hunya no kata na hwene. Nti wo de betena na hwe se hu a. Ha na boys ni nyina eduale wo. Say ana boys ni nyina eduale wo. Ansa na say that na ukop bebia sebi ye hu ye ne de anye. Nti mama ye nko. Ye kwa mo benya kata ha kwa mo bewu. Ma ye nko. Mama di mo papa. Ana do so. Na ye do so. Oko ka say you better say onye ni papa. Hwe bibia adisi host to ha na ye do so. That but my go SD. Say tell us what shoe. That the ha na boys ni nyina eduale wo. Say ana boys ni nyina eduale wo. Esa say president to crow back and yamase no. Red control papa na ka so hunya no kata na hwene. Nti wo de betena na hwe se hu a. Ha na boys ni nyina eduale wo. Say ana boys ni nyina eduale wo. Ansa na say that na ukop bebia sebi ye hu ye ne de anye. Nti mama ye nko.
How? Enti Kwame. Akwala we obewie university. Unu so de bone na ebefie. Yeah. Onya adwuma, onya aban adwuma ya. Yeah, obebokro no be di bone because the pain wa fam ansa na wa wie school no. Adwun papa bia ni tirim say so obo o man no ma ne koso. And abaye norm amano. In so no okoye education director bi. Na say school for nkola nya ba bi nyon so oh that nyina say na ye no. Yeah. That is why you to be moving no. And the reason why in our case, your political heads no Edwa mama ekọ abrochire mom ko school kosua. Oh, and you say abrofo no ewo good curriculum chen ye na say courses bi papa bia o. They take them there to learn the environment. Na environment na ewura nkola no mu. Na nkola no de abo mo abusua. Yeah, na adwene say adwene na ba bia o ko school no. Adwene e kambe bia wo hu bia no, you know, very refreshing to the soul. But yeah, no, akwala ko school what the pain. Because some the difference between baby away no Johnson and in someone prison. The only thing between him and somebody in someone prison is so on the opponent to me nante. But facility ni be used to be no the same thing like in someone. Go to Teshi, go to Nungwa and other places. Say, yet me sit down ketekete say, Nempuma 1. Pe ene da ho. Empuma 1. Ene da no. Empuma 1 no so no, o next neighbor no, ono ne kitchen, face one puma no. Inti oye aduane wo the heat and every Teshi, Jamestown, Nungwa, Sukura, where? Labadi, some places are okay. And I'm gonna say some places. Also, Labadi, some part maybe closer to Laboni and so yes, but yes, part of Labadi, Teshi, Nungwa, those areas, Sukura. Your friend say, somebody called me from Mamobi. Oh, then the kind of Sikan Crawford airbo said ne ukra 20,000 na untimi even self-contained. And this man, what's your friend say? Mr. Frederick. Oh, and como say, you know, Nenka Munya time did not tumubi. When and see a young obesity New Town will be able on when and see a young dialogue. Where a threat to national security. Yes. Nima. When and see a own dialogue. When and see a fra a Togba Fede, a Otumfo, Nairi, Gamanche. Domahine one near Domina a dime by Kumun Yen do come as a country. But fee, how can a private developer buy Legon land? No one seen as private hostel. And Sansia did that tech that Tony I'm a private developers. It's not like they don't know, they know. Akufo-Addo call Legon. JM call Legon. Atamils call Legon. Even call KNUST. Almost time then assassinated the whole. They became politicians. They saw them selling it. They kept quiet because they are cronies. And the Ayrton assassin no DC. And the money comes, they sit in the room in the night, buy champagne, pop it up, and they tell you, see, yeah. You see how stupid we are as a country. Very foolish people, daft, idiots, rats, cockroaches. So on my conversation, economic indicators is very dangerous. There is no indicator than we having a good shelter. NDC has been able to improve free SHS aduane. Now they know the OBO. Can we talk about shelter? Chale rent na no you. Rent na no you. I met a lady be or catch them say, Commander, say no, obu or say ebi ma 3 Timisia. They don't know themselves so. But Waste Council, you know, as on Macabum no de J a dime back no me and Sashim. And that is where the homosexuality and everything starts spreading. I met a young lady, Ewotema. And yes, a guy no on anything no open no onye or one a boy. But in Nipanua or tin chain and a what dine and a small room. A one chain. Inti Okoda will be every week in one and have sex twice at the ticker. Into one water. Yeah. You meet this lady on the street and she's so frustrated. I asked her, I don't know sign call back to baby and free boss. Say, never call day. Okodo for an hour call day. Because as the boyfriend in him say yes, but the boyfriend who needs car no cry pex or babekano, but because a guy no and then she say one into no guy on soon to be met now. And we don't talk about it. We don't. You will never see NDC MPP arguing over this because yeah, there is nothing there for them to share. That is the reality. So interestingly, very low. Yeah. Sankasika bumbi free one papa wombenya bi atoto Land Cruisers a. Enka de obehu de besi okroma. But I mean, if I so be any more. And that is where I ask myself, if I so be in traditional House of Chiefs, if I so be in almost, if I so be in Christian councils, if I so be in peace councils, if I so be in your friend is a Muslim councils. Very useless groups. They are not interested in these things. No. They are not interested. They don't care. You will never hear the Islamic leaders talking about the situation in Nima and Mamubi. They won't say anything. Say yo mufo. Say I don't know. Frederick Eko Rounsley. What is that? Ajiansari and I say Duncan Williams. No, Duncan Williams a job problem. We work on vampire. I'm a good board. So Duncan Williams. Baby an interest. So as when you almost TV, Otabe crowd you on him chair be because of university. And when him the Uncolani come on him. But they will never preach about it. They will never. No. Because Duncan Williams, Otabe, Ajiansari, why, above force and why they know that Oma will never go through such situation. They will never talk about it. Never. What is here say a National House of Chiefs? So a seminar or whatever about rent, hostel issues. What be that? Not even Ghana Education Service, not even Education Ministry. They will never talk about it because there is no interest there. That is what they talk about it. Yes. Yanko Kagalam say once a minute, I am for the politicians here dialogue. You say 5.16 million in 1,016 million. And now I'm the organizer because na Kofia na ya seminar no ya dia share envelope mu e bia 200,000 Ghana na de ni what you say, you do beda Marriott Hotel, you do beda Kempinski. You see, that is where they are interested. These are foolish men, foolish leaders. Jimmy from Kwan, I swear. Kwasiafo. Now the Ghanaians who are spending time on having 1 hour. Now go spend 1 hour no hostels and ko be hu de nkolani kom. One baby I call de a rent control papa ni ko jira no. Ko Duncan William kwata 30 minutes wo nwa. They won't talk about it. Peace Council will just write to the central government, we need money to go and do peace, blah, 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 or boko. They take the money. Omo do tamale, no mo jeje, ajiji hotel, no mo di, skano. Omo, asofu, omo kwa nom de gas in Kolankiten, kitiko, nom do mashe dem. Omo kwa sem na neba na ed daso. What kind of nonsense is that? What about you journalists in the country? And to be from a monthly salary and go see a hostel. Budget, me 3,000 brabajet. Never go see hostel. Oh, will be some question say ya. Then go see a response next of the manu. And yes, I go drive from Aquaje, a bonny show for the sick and the Aqua, yet your taxes man for. Taxes na ye tua mo na ye ni abreka ho asem so omo fa bi MY no oh Ghana ni agimi o oh asem o Ewurade Nyankopon Yesu Christ mabam kura bu na wa enti se we se aka de no nko a Ghana na so bua me ne enka asem we na se aye dia hwe journalist for ye enye bia ne se Owura Frederick Nama ya fa camera di na chi a ye twa e de spread na ye ma obi ahu ade kura AC no and you reminding penny4 said this is the situation no say bebu sam senti se mu ye de beje me ne kwa me de kakra ye no kura ba 15th 20th beje ne fa ko Dixon okay we say wajimi see I catch leadership ejimi na unu say leadership ejimi don't love me because me mpe kwasia edo so we kwasia me mpese ube do me time na wo time ya untimi nya hwe wo desin wo kan no wajimi say onipa da sani so ye leader no wajimi kire wo na untimi nkan kire ne say ejimi say na wudi kire me no how and there's no kind time mete chado ya no abotu anadwo no aba Jimmy wenum na ebu ampanifo no mdi boni o yes because onko dominion oko your friend say Agaza will say sorry about traffic light national also me papa ajiasare or your friend say oh enti do anya problem no Perez onko Perez oko your friend say Otabe oy bukata guy no onko bukata guy no a obehwe no oko oy obofu say Ebenezer say why sa woncheni for 11 no obehwe no okobi tisa so abehwe no malam bi o say yi kramuni pani bi na osum no enti sa so oni politician bi na nam no nya kakra di ntino asem na ye kan wo hu say dangerous on Sakola abayo 26 years to Ghana okura 20,000 ontimi nya dying high enem. And the only thing your leadership Nanijo is organizing events and sharing the money. They don't talk about that. No. Omun di won komo enye omo problem kwa. And you are not worried. Many am oba enti am worried say na mi wuja me bakwa akuwo na ko no kwa asase so a nasement bi ansi bibia ansu ama na akola we kwa akoda hen me oba enti madwene ye adwuma me oba enti madwene eye adwuma me dwene me ba ho because me so owuo eka ye ho yenga apesa u ka se kwa chi de nka opene so aye janka enka yo no no timi share ya tare be ya fe pa di be 2 years ne da social ne bia wo di afishia da ka se ka de be to de ke bi ni 2 years na share what is a pedi bia ba fa ro afa de kutu kura guru ko wani mo be ya ye ni sa ba anya afi ya ye ru awu sha unya mo so abode ubabo yeah fabi nya seria no you see enya de papa kra say when leadership concentration nyina ye de be chedi but you were pressing issues to my way mu a hankola no me na menim da say wo kopedan a viewing fee, a day fee, ha. And so what the be now to me, you never heard Dina, Uber your next cadassa. Guys, baby, I'm better than cry. A young madani gano, and young po. Obuana downful. Oh, me were dying to join me. Boys 4, no much needing the true no dani gay. Yes. And you can't, I didn't hear or die say, oh, any man say Ghana no, any pan fanny pan. Yeah, the way some of us we are very passionate about a nipa survivor no. Yeah, ahomete. In the other me who say JM outside course agleme, I was happy. I'm very, very happy. That is how leadership. Akwaya ni ti passe ya ote nima ne papa fie. Atagada no se media. Na what ma sagleme. Sagleme hwe adan yaguo. So last week or so, me who JM ho nam say yes. Papa we yantu amba man angu. Me who John Mama bia then I'm happy like yes. Bobie me wasting me time. Yes, John Mahama, I've wasted 16 years of my life with John Mahama, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. It is, but Obi send me a message say, Bobie, catch a old man. Yes, Ramo, Sagleme, Mumma me mfenchem. Ye pamochao. Ye pamochao honorables from MCE. Any regional ministers, any your friend say ministers appointees, and these appointees, ye pamochel. Mama here for emphasis glemen what? Oh, yes, Ramo. Ye pamochel. Mama here for emphasis glemen what? Na yentete soma ahia for why mo fa mo mfanya so mu de kwacha mo girls mo fa mo mfanya hwe obu okra na ogide to e ho na okodi ni twe omu ofie na se bi nu ofie o ma se age apartment o mu de bo ahyawo ni akohwibra onamo watum ofo biyire na odna sikwa no so ofo akwala ketwa na pa yes remo ye pamocheo we mama mobrofo no nya bi why mama mobrofo no nya bi why yes remo why sagleme Munyama mo brofo why we de mamu nkotinsi so yesremo why yesremo e pamocheo why mama mo brofo no montete soma omo mamu nya ne dollars na obia ni bi yasramo mamu nkwaji wo so mfa ba ku ya TDC ye mo ji afa yasramo why we dey mumia muani na mama ahu ewiase udidi ba ku na ma obi so afa keto na edase no sa na ewiase ye no wo benya kese enti keto ne ba na so ma keto no so odi wachi no fa keto no a problem bia ni wo na me ye ho atoye yi sa na etena wiase ye ntena wiase mfom ne ma mfa nhye ye botom mfa nhye ye mfumpi mu ye nya sa wo wiase enti unya kese a keto ba no wayi wani ama de ono so oni bie no no afa keto no why bone enye rent one asem no I think we need to find a day and deal with it. It's sad. I'm out for sending message say will be phone lines. But maybe we'll do it another time. And yet obi en control bibia and once a few rough one obi enemy kasai wako hind dine a dine now a high no if you run and say o man kipi or no ne dine no key back Yes. And at a point in time, wadakra ofili ohun se obi e bie ni pro young girl obi bie ni pro. Yeah. Okan ya metu. Okan ya metu. Ghana fine yenye nro state house no. Enipa no dan ye dɔɔso but on say yesika sem no enhyɛ enya se yesika sem enru hɔ sɛ nka yenya akromfo a sɛ Ghana yenya akromfo enenka ye leadership no nya akromfo enenka ye hwa ye bibia pepepa ka Ghana ye no so nkyere so saa wo hwa the resource a ye wo no a ke ye no so nkyere so ena we have political parties omunim de ye say menua ade we nya roadmap ye mienu nyina oba say na ese ye no also ba say na ese ye no because obi aye kromfo endwan say ye nkomodie efri 82 Rollins by corruption aben bia ba ye di corruption on komo sa yeah e kire se ye nyina ye ya kromfo nti wo fra me kromfo an ma be fra kromfo ti kromfo sa on se keje ti kromfo wa fa de no nipa nyina dirimika no no so tiam kromfo wo so kromfo sa na politics na ye. So we have not been able to make any progress. Say yeah progress that we can talk about a housing deficit. Say quite ben you bet me a faso. You know, there ben say yeah. And now you say landlords be Kumasi Kia University hostel landlords be, and they were insulting Mr. Frederick. Rent control papa, and they were insulting him because Nemo Kohun any revelations our day bano. Unfortunately, nobody is saying anything. Works and housing, okay. Works and housing mebuano no aye jumano and aka papa no kwa and or the dimusa no obi akunu. The politicians really and the politicians no kra pona this aboneno. To be honest with you, so nobody care. Obia mwano, nye bibia mfa mwasa papa we. Enkanamo we no tupa anke yo. But say benefit say never minister no nya bi ni onya hwe ni I don't think there's wasting the time. No. We want to get call lunch war. Your friend say la boma den in favor omu kodidi you know what I say. It is all case on me order we are fucking easy. Yeah, so I mean that is the situation and Kwame almost see a free BB Airbnb say a whole lot of issues surrounding it, a whole lot of issues. What you know want to and now even say hotels ni be a shisha say lungu no rentima prostitutes Nigeria for no bar neighbor. Ghana, Nigeria, 4 girls neighbor. So they rent it out to prostitutes. And they are there. A big 3 months, a big 6 months. They are there. Prostitution. That is where the armed robbers are. That's where the criminals are. Now, you don't see the armed robbers at ghetto. So, no. Don't go to ghetto looking for armed robber, a murderer. Don't go there. They finish, they go to the hotel, they live with them, they dress neatly, they come out like guys. You see them on the street. Now, ghetto, only be 5 cities, 20 cities, be those are the people sitting there. Even with the tramor and those things, you know, and yet those hotels, and nobody is checking it. Nobody recently, Kumasi, they went to a hotel and they had about 65 prostitutes from Nigeria. Obia, they have guys or Maba behind Dynamo. Guys, they go to robbery. They come back to be raw hotel. I would this a beer or be no behind hotel no be na Juma addressing on in Amtamo. They are there. The dynamics are changing. The situation is changing. And I don't know whether leadership but we need to sit down. One day, I wish we can have a national conference on housing. on rent issues. Let's talk about rent. Kofa school for Nkola Ebra. Utie bi asema obesu. Ebe yo mobo. Anyway, let me move on. Odai see me and Kahwasem. But Odai. Oh. Ye leadership omo hu. Rent issues here papa enemy. Omo hu. Omo TV. Omo news. Omo social media. Omo hu I know obi didi omo atema omo te. Social media no omo kote no. But we know in here omo. Enka we know one Sunday Methodist onyina Pentecost onyina say enkomo hunu kwa Methodist papa enkomo hunu so ho nenka one Sunday Methodist for kuramu rent any hostel issues otabe kuramu rent any hostel issues mosque chief Sheikh Sarabatu kuramu rent issues any accommodation Ajiasari kram we kram Roman folk kram we kram aha oh ni anyane o man no All right, so Bobie, Paddy J. Taylor says, Bobie, good afternoon. Please kindly find out from GES why they have failed to make the BC school placement portal system accessible to the various school facilitators and school heads. Currently speaking, it's not open to the general public to even make their required entries and immediate submissions. Moreover, 2026-2027 BEC candidates are to report to their various obtained choices of schools by early September this year, 2026. Sad. Okay, so but you check his idea now. No. Paul Ameno Soji. Good afternoon. This is the best for Ghanaians. MPP never. Okay, so let's move on. Politics as usual. Bobie, good afternoon, please. Okay, so I think I've touched on this one. Richard Anna says, good afternoon, Bobie. Okay, so Emmanuel Enim is here on our Facebook page. Julie Belinda, I don't know. Daniel Do says the landlord wants to have midnight prayers with the lady. I asked some more. I asked some. Senor, sir. Now, landlord did the OPQ or the other. If he's a man, then he wants to jump on her at night. I shall need Bema. Yes. Actually, Coco says, Bobie, I'll come to you directly to help me buy one. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about anyway. All right. PSC Kojo Isaac Shaggy says, Bobie, we are just about 35 million population. Yeah, some more 35 million population in Ukraine. Kolani at the account when you say be a some range be no more. So some range be a more. Says a Kwabena say greedy bastards and kwa and it's a how are we are mind seeker and with impunity. How are you real mind seeker with impunity? And then you see your resources. And me, Kwame, it will get to a point, may I will support it. So be real mind seeker. China, they kill you. They just slaughter you. You know, yes, people must be slaughtered. I don't know why you do Maya Kumyama now we are there. You take salary, you take allowance, clothing allowance, fuel, Yama Land Cruiser. Yama Bangalo crowd 3 year, Yama police, or guard. Oh, yes, can I? Yame ya duma wo ya adwuma so omo mbeba won chen ya ba be ye ombecho bibi kakra enya bone. Inti government coffers na don say kotum no don say kotum aye den. Ukwa ko wi aye den. Why should you steal? I didn't say we had here. Me ya adwuma wa Accra FM. Say ba se minti bi nya jai na me ja agongo adwuma ma no. Why should I steal? I didn't say me we are going to go sika. I didn't say me fair you a letterhead at the cobaby. I didn't say be by advert and my friend say me na film Bobie Ansah no my just kana kwa kodi betra no my body back me no be no my sorry call then the company is losing revenue. If I want to do somebody favor, me jina dia o me de baba be kire kwa me we dia mesre mo ade we mo nyama. It's simple. Why should you go around stealing? Frauding people. Who are them now we are mind seeker. What do you mean? Now about them. You choose your words carefully. Max Akpabili says some landladies no longer accept the 3 months given to tenants to look for another room. They take money for those months, which is frustrating. Yes. First, I say, Nenka, any first, no, it's law, it's by law. That's me be free wood daimua. I need 3 months. What I say to look for another one and pack and do everything. 3 months, landlord, age now, council, so I say, can say two adanwa, two free daimua danwa. Why? Why? And we are not talking about this as a country. We are not having a conversation about it. We go the China way. You rape somebody, we cut your penis. You still, we shoot you through your anus. Simple. Yes. Kwame, unim say obi o ekronphobia na ogi democracy di. Akronfo na ogi democracy di. I'm telling you. Obaka tell so there if democracy then yeah whatever is expensive or whatever. No our can say ekronuntia. Yes, ekrono. And yet we can fix this country. We can. Yenti na mame ba project we so no. Ocean niema kakra within 1.5 years. Agboja, the road minister, under the leadership of John Mahama, and niema kakra wamo yenua. Na kachem si yenti mi rano my way ya. And omun kwaji lo no. Oh, John Mahama create situation biya maya. The next leadership, unbakro wa asembone po. But see it be built on the John Mahama di jaye yiswa. We are good to go. Kwame, just imagine Famiko of Anko to Nsawam Road. Yamon tell. Of Anko to Ghana for me the moon rose kakra. A compilation aye.
This is the Sapperman flyover. 3 lanes in, 3 lanes out, and then the service lanes are down there. 2 lanes with a roundabout beneath it. Look, let's protect Mahama. Let's pray for Mahama. Let's ask God to continue to keep him strong because of the love he has for Ghanaians. He came to pay the contractors to get back on site to continue this project to where it is now. The MPP started it, and then at a point, the contractors gave up and nothing was happening. As soon as the NDC took over, Mahama saw the thing and said, no, we cannot leave the road to be like this. We cannot allow Ghanaians to suffer. Looking at how we all used to suffer on this road, especially Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, when people are traveling to Kumasi for funeral and when they are returning from Kumasi back to Accra. In fact, not Kumasi alone, going all the way to the north and coming back to Accra, it is usually a catastrophic experience. You know, the traffic is crazy and we have visuals to show. Somewhere in the beginning of 2025, it was hell. We are in 2026. This is August 2026, and this is what we are seeing over here on the Ofanko to Nsawam Road. God bless President Mahama. In fact, God keep you safe and make you grow very, 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 very old. Ghanaians are happy for what you've done for them. In fact, this is what the taxpayers' money is being used for. All the millions of cedis that have gone into the hands of the contractor. My Enterprise Limited.
Obi bu o man say na se o se o mo na baso a obi bu o man say na so mo na baso a sa o tai ni pakro na de ka sa o tai no anu aka o ti ase GM what is saying Kwame family free sawam of Anko na dem no sha. And I think
I still in the Ashanti region, where on the site of one of the most important projects within the region, and it is the Kumasi Outer Ring Road. Now, before I proceed, let me make it clear, according to the roads minister,
the Kumasi Outer Ring Road is not part of the Kumasi Expressway project. They are two separate projects. By the end of the day, they both will tie in beautifully to have one continuous run. So if you're coming from Accra, whichever place you're coming from, once you hit the Ashanti region and you have no business in the central business district, you use either the expressway onto the Outer Ring Road, or you use the Accra Kumasi Road, and then you connect to the Outer Ring Road and you go to wherever you want to go to.
But let me clarify, this is not the Accra Kumasi Expressway. This is just the Kumasi bypass. It ties in with the Accra Kumasi Expressway down the road somewhere. But this section is not part of that. When completed, they become one continuous network. But this project is different from the Accra Kumasi Expressway. So we want to encourage you to keep working.
It is 47 kilometers, but so far the contractor is trailing behind. 20%, almost 20%, 19 plus.
Let's move.
Ghana for mama yehwe sa kwan ya omoye. Ekwan we ye ekwan ya omoye fiti gene ekodrobo e de Sampa highway. Na yehwe ekwan no ne thickness. Yehwe ekwan no ne thickness. John Mahama ne ma yetosumenu idie. Wa na adwen so obebo adwuma aye adwuma pa de aboa Ghana man. Na yenso yenko yekutodwe nim na yemmompa yemfama no. Na adwen papa owo edema oman no entumi mbremu emfama oman. Na nka 4 years time betwem no na omampeni aye nnuama akese de amagana okwan no wo hwe ne thickness na esitina enye nne ne ochina na ebese we de wo hwe mu pa ya forever and ever enti no aban no aye ade papa road minister no aye ade na contractor so na oye okwan no so aye ade na eyefe Ghana for mama yehwe sa kwan ya omoye. Ekwan we ye ekwan ya omoye fiti gene ekodrobo e de Sampa highway. Na yehwe ekwan no ne thickness. Yehwe ekwan no ne thickness. John Mahama ne
gene drobo yanko Adenta Dodowa Road asphalting and also koso and also
they have lived on this corridor for years and seen the deplorable road. So I can understand when people are worried about this. But the good thing is that there's good progress going on. As the contractor said, by the end of the year, at least one side will be completed and be open to traffic. So by Christmas, one lane will be finished, and it's good. It's good. The quality is also very well.
quick yemra swami interchange koso yanko yesunyane Berlin Road Bankunaba.
Work is progressing steadily on the Sunyani-Bakunyaba Berlin Road. Currently, the contractor, Akufo-Addo Company Limited, is undertaking stabilization and sub-base works. Once this stage is over, we do expect the first coat of the road surface being applied. A few weeks ago, the Honorable MCE of Sunyan, Honorable Vincent Ajay, said, latest by November, we should expect the road being tarred. However, from observation, from what I've heard so far, taking into account the commitment of the MP, the commitment of the MCE, and the dedication of the contractor and his workers, I believe that the November deadline is even too far. For those of us here at Berlin and Bakuniaba, we look forward to seeing the project being completed in the coming days. Thank you. Work is progressing steadily on the Bakuniaba Berlin Road. Currently, the contractor, Akufo-Addo Company Limited.
So Sunyan for minim sa Berlin Road no minimo na enye kra yanko Sunyan wa bio atronie.
Keep right and keep left signages.
Okay, so quick one. Yama Kwabena still on the road with the road minister, Honorable Kwabena Bobie Ansah. Currently, no, yes, we are. I now share a mature with me say, Kofi Job wa boy Juma Papa Panti. Yababa Nabaso. Now when you know your projects are a year road projects are His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, true Honorable Kwabena Ansah, or more Ediama contract. Yababa Amane say we are government hospital a quantity assessing it. I problem no. A bit to me I simple. You know we are still on the road. Okay, so quick one. Yama Kwabena still on the road with the road minister, Honorable Kwabena Bobie Ansah. Currently, no, yes, we are. I now share a mature with me say, Kofi Job wa boy Juma Papa Panti. Yababa Nabaso. Now when you know your projects are a year road projects are His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, true Honorable Kwabena Ansah, or more Ediama contract. Yababa Amane say we are government hospital a quantity assessing it. I problem no. A bit to me I simple. You know we are still on the road.
Also one ye omfi okoka na omonkrofo me ka MPP ni asemo na MPP ni antimi defend ya de ekwai it won't take you ekwai is less than 3-4 months so 8 years na omotiwa na na Severe Hospital enya ya 20% enya 10%. Oh, na ka se MPP ni nya aboa enka ade Akufo-Addo ni ba omia be ye o Ghana ha ka MPP ni betua se ashatare se to abama MPP but MPP ni aboa ntino onim kura sa ade na nipa ne ye no enye na aboa de obeda hu se de wo ye na ye na asanye aboa 3-4 months Severe kwai ena owi anu akogina Ashanti region ye de MPP na eya amunim na awon makache MPP for say asema beto omo Ashanti region omo hu bi da sa tete politics no Jimmy no omo ka say sebe Ashanti region for still omo nimu nyansa sa na ya MPP for say Ashanti region they have moved on. But MPP for it to say Bema Oba a Jino. Naso until the ones say Obani a Jino. Obano, Waja won it him, Oba won interfere, opia oba the following day o be ma no wa someone said that enye nasem o se ojao be ma jimi fo at the same MPP Asante region free woman nsem na omo huye enti akwaya kokoti mempene me ba cha kwa be o se fa na yefan twato no yango she express road no say the omo atwa
okay say enane bosom pepepe
sure and now me no ka say Asante region military engineers na dua oma bia kwanim
okay say enane bosom pepepe
sure
and me no ba ha say
sure
ye betwa kwan we na nkofo bi tete social media oh mama onye mampani nyakopon sirawo me hu se me na fomo se me ntena fomo chale me hu da me nyo mampani hwe me se wo a on support nyuma pa ma ye no o ye mamboyefo
kwan we ya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama me be hu so omo ye no na me dwen say ya dada expressway we na me nim say eyentro na His Excellency oka but me di me ni be hu nya me ma me fra me me di me ni be hu say ye kokoyi aka no and I'm say His Excellency obo adwuma
asoja for na hu keka te say
oh wo hwe time mo de pon na wotim say ni bere wo ho pa mo be 10 something ho no yes omonda ahoma chinso no ma start
sebi enye policy nsem ne ye but se nipa ya ade a osaye yi
e bia ye gina ye Accra Kumasi Expressway me no ka say soldiers for na du Kumasi Ashanti Radio omo dwaben constituency adwoso constituency omo ye clearing otwa machines egu ye chi a ekwa ebe ya military engineers machines military engineers President of Ghana John Dramani Mahama His Excellency akache Ghana for say oye Accra Kumasi Expressway ye di ka ba any 1 month ebe kan bra na engineers na eba Ashanti region be meja kwan na omode fa no o ka say sisi abia military engineers no woye Ashanti region babia omo
credit nkoma Amaro Shako. So this is the situation. And umpe we and then now pay. Let me do this for JM. For joining us here. And more that's where what line is no say. And yeah, sometimes I get emotional. I get emotional when I see NDC doing well. I drop tears when I see NDC doing so much well for Ghana. That is all that some of us we wished for. Empire, any adaje, ya say, and sometimes somebody like my brother used to Obini Michelle and I'm saying, look, when you see us talking like that, say NDC go wrong and near break because we know what we sacrificed for NDC to NDC mo. Yangume to NDC mo. Listo yanguna to NDC mo. Yeah, Pierre Wasantis. Baby, I wo ye tete no ye de ade bi ena ye de hye trim. So for us to break that chains, that bondage, and free ourselves from slavery, mental slavery, and to accept a different ideology, a year more my konenim no. Na etrese yenia brese so mine tumpon. Not that we don't have complaints. Debbie. See, I say, and this by in Kabobian Musumna Macao Masman KFC will be Kapa Kebiaki Akasakrama by Nebu. But the question is, I dream pop bay and out the year. The old year no ma JM. I've been punishing say obe peja or mine. And they are on course. Yes, Obisu vote because of accountability. Yes, they are on course. Trust me. The aura is working. Mudiambe enche. Enche kra. But the fact of the matter is that she acquire ye no. Na be de ma ho. Say JM first can to Toland Cruises and journalist for no see me the Bayer Expressway. Yes. Come on, use it. That's okay. Ade abaya me ya say wa ba be ma be wies kan wa anya hwe. Eni wa wi ade ama ye nyina ye nche. But so wi now dey yes. Wa fa anya hwe. Ye do ba be wi. Wa wi ade ne ye nyina ye nche. That one I will talk. But some pajama na say me hu ade e koso no a me say okay, let me sit in my poverty like that. I am fine. Sani ebu o man. Ye mfo man sika nkoye nkogro medamase. One day, when we are done with our work, we can sit back near catch and crofo so mampani bi by. He has spent years supporting his ideology, supporting his vision. Yenema Ghana Expressway, Yenema Ashanti Region Ring Road, Outer Lane Road, Yenema Dambai Way, Yeneba Way, Yeneba. Yes, your story about catch ye nananom. Videos wo ye call campaign ye ni abre. Ye nam ram ye nam sumwa ye ni abre. Ye konto kwa hunu even with loved ones. Ye anyane in vain. Emfaso ni nie. Namni se JM onwie. Yes. And this is a human institution. Nti ibenya flops kakra. Now, about so we will criticize and we will correct it. Obi busa am say obi enti what radio sisa majoma ma wini o da so ti radio so ene nkrofo didie now say me hu obi a wo didie de I haven't seen anybody eating but so obi didie amani nidi. The fact is that we don't want to move away kra because say JM a failure nkrofo be sremi bobie. Yes, on be sremi. I mean, Pesa and Nipa Benyami atwetwe me. Say yenya o ma onkofa gonjani mra yenya o ma onkofa gonjani bra no yeni. Me pesa me ni gonjani no kofie with our chest high. Ntine ya na ye ni abre. Enye si ni bibiye. But I want to remind them again. Sa 24-hour marketing, they should watch it. They should watch it. Minim ni pakro mo dinato ano. Em say na dwene nye. Yedi nyansa ne buman. Kwame Nanka me pesa me ye gold board that day way, but the no, I won't touch it, but I will use just 2 minutes. Me ka se mbia kire NDC. Entina me ma ebo minua Samejemfi e video no. Na kwame utie Samejemfi video no a. Adwuma anka me ba be ye no a na oye no. Losses under gold for oil. Kwame, sa gold for oil no. Okohwe sika Bank of Ghana ehwere ye was sa policy no ho a. Na kwa me come na say. Me come na say NDC ntie mi ye ebia efri na ekro no Kwame afa di NDC fo beti ase NDC aban penimfo on beti ase NDC ba ya na ka chem say every sector mum hwe na muma auditing nkoso na munyi niam ni nyina mpiepie ana gold for oil no omne sledge NDC for ne sledge kitini ase afe ya eto apenten no afe na mo ba be che say gold for oil no kra no so Bank of Ghana ebo hoka so Kwame enye se bia ye so microphone a ye nim ya ne nim de ye ka ho won sa afe de wo munya NDC so mbegu o manimu ase na afe na mo ba bebo amane se gold for oil no miwa mo beto ya eka ni bi wo kra no a every 2024 ene beru 2025 I'm telling you ade no a MPP for ye na eye campo eye ka eye campo no the gold for oil under our domestic gold purchase program na e buy no ono ba omi ade buy say ye no ntia be me atofu ofofofo kra no ne eye 70 om di ja ho no o se be ma dollar na aba fom ye no ne 70 om di ja ho no IMF actual report abeka kire say gold for oil no opaque dealings. It was not transparent. Ye kwamfie mienu nie. Ana omne slide no msa slide no na esa business no ne PMMC for no. Ana wo magya wo nyina mo adwane. Ana say I write books no off wo say there you. Wa say afa de omkofa we buy na afa na mo beboy amane say say and this person mo church Ghana for mo mu say gold for oil no crown e ma bi oji so boka 2022 2023 2024 but okay enko tini e ka kire mo say wudi ka go ka wo story e wo nipa no mu fa kire Ghana for say part no and wutie eniema me bana na metie o me bana metie eye minu asamegem fu bon tape no nyina na metie pa check your sound me bana metie na me busa ho say eniema samegem fi rezi ni nyina ye serious so the question is timunim saade we nyina na mo hwe nkrofo we munim saade we nyina na mo hwe wo mo on say edru so na nka sebe osuma me se me nkoto ade bra enye sika na me be kwa akoto operational loss ya me nwe sika no operational loss na o ka se samejem fo to no ono onim se mo MPP fo mo amini no ene nka samejem fi so sebe ka minu akuma nka onim sabe you too smart onim na enti obi ka che sameje mfinim se sabio abandane na hwadwuma abrante na ye over the period income ayewo na se but ni nyina na mabone tofa no se ewiase Odane ostrich edi uti ekwohye amnemu se wadoje a otuguo. De ye kan nyina no Kwame. Send this for ekko krom koye dede ti say ya. Enka wenum dede we nye dede. Ti e ka kire mu. Se mumma ye eniama bullet no yemfa nkwa abon mum yen konkrofo we so hard. Ye ka kire ndi simperifo mum yen konkrofo we so hard. Ena omo so bobie num ye hawks. Na doves for no na jomama afọ omo do omo bu man. To omo do omo ye diplomatic this thing. Na nyansa me jafi no odo won na manfo tisi mu se ene de besi wo ha se enel akwe ono nko so nasem kwase ye oti enel ono nko so nasem se nyansa me jafi no odo won na manfo ayi ye fra mountain fighters e fa wo mon se kai no wo ne masi krom se ne ye be twitwa bi agufom ne ye catch them say every sector mobile ya na ye catch them say afenyo marking ECG munhwe ho ya ka on say asem ba afenyo mo kofa ECG afenyo marking asem aba ti asem ama enti afenyo marking ka mo Ghana fo hu say ade afenyo marking akotra ono ko catch obi so obi aton gold aboka wo aton so ensuo ni kanea aboka wo afenyo marking. Until sometimes send this near people some of us near per se a them dean because at the end of the way back I catch them say look why you say idea we besi na politics na nya brofo enye bibie enyansa wagimi a unna de kura eba wadoka ka asa bobie nko na tie MPP for mentai omo TMPP for no be akra hia wa chale o nkrofo no kra we are friends to them o ye no omo and you say omo di na say ye nyina ne okrum me hu bebre I go to restaurants in the night me call club me club me bobi me call club me call oh yeah me anajo na michini yo me anajuna mitini mi hu omo autopos Cavalli mi hu omo babia mi chira najo me anajuna menante I see them sometimes I don't call them I see them no bia kone baby mi hu omo clear and I no kra odin kruma eba me na mi hun clear say mi hun nyese me na hun mi hun clear mi hu omo. Anyway, thank you. More follow me Ewahase on Citizen TV, on radio, on other platforms. I'm grateful. All right, so time exactly 4 p.m. and as I'm switch here, call Studio B with my panel members. David Divine Nkrumah will join us here. Geoffrey Okansi, Executive Director Revenue and Anti-Corruption Advocate Haruna Mohammed, Deputy Director of Communication, Pilgrims Affairs Office, Ghana. They will join us in the studio. But Maminka was a Oro Cancer joining here. Chairman, Akwaba. Yeah. Bokori.
Nyamiadum.
Says no, Mamin Busao. This Geoffrey. Middle East in Sensemini. Fu ye best surviving.
You may survive it. Some of the decisions in the Middle East, external forces in the Yebejiatum, and so
I know you
usually internally near maybe a being a memory and him say refineries too. So it's really a good
I am recording this particular episode as a proud Ghanaian and as a proud promoter of the Big Push agenda. On this note, let me send a very big shout and a very big thank you to the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to the Road Minister, Honorable Kwabena Bobie Ansah, and his Deputy, Al-Hassan Suhini. These people have Ghanaians at heart. Had it not been for the president, this project would not have gotten to where it has gotten to now. This is the Ofanko to Insawam Road, and this is one of the flyovers. Look, It is massive and it is beautiful. Now look at the expansion gaps, you know. Look at the mighty expansion gaps. Fresh from the oven, and the road is looking super. One interesting thing is the fact that as of now we can see the spaces for the drainage. We can see them. So I'm sure this is for drain. They've left the holes for water to run into them, and I want to believe that pipes will be connected beneath it to carry the water away from from the road. The road has been sloped towards this side, and the other side too, the slope goes onto the other side. This side is 3-lane carriageway with an emergency lane, so we are actually standing on the emergency lane. And this side it is 3 lanes, 1, 2, 3, and I want you to observe the beauty of this place. I want you to observe the beauty. This is the Sapperman flyover. 3 lanes in, 3 lanes out, and then the service lanes are down there. 2 lanes with a roundabout beneath it.
ye ko school kakra na esu ya no gold ne bo no say ye gold ni bi gu no ye bompa ye say kan ne bo no ye de enkoso and ka fa ngo ye ni ye ya kwa mi kuma pen so to hu fa ngo no gra po no ti to na ma o ye di echire ne de say abegu Ghana na nimas ye gu no ka ye dwen ye ne ye sa so wo rig crapo video bi ba fi so ye ko ton ye rig yes ne wo rig ne bi ebra ye hu mo say enso ne a ye hu adwuma nyina no onu mu ye duko tu efia say ne adwuma no mu ye no bi yes that is how from how nyama bi aye atia Ghana no ye nimo it is a curse. People who labored na tajigata na me mamen kan enferry. Why is his assets tatu mo masum Ghana no my discover the assets, right? And I'm just the assets angasa debi. Why is this? Say nkola be ye adwuma 3-4 days here. Almost is at that 10 or 20 for me to be 25 houses. So you don't cut here no. Why is his asset? I'm not disgracing him. He led a good life. Or if he but or grabby say or no or more person no we so more grabby bia. Kiamame to my way. Discovered it. And then good news and it's a GNPC can say they are now going to go into the Voltarian Basin. GNPC will go in itself. There was a dialogue at CSO, GNPC, HCI, and then they gave us the assurance. Omobeko basin. They get about 3 wells, and they hear him say, "And no, ebe gumma toa, not toa so the area combat or two idea. You would say." Obetimi adada niama maniama yi and he said kon sadia then obi beka say misfortunes no it will turn into blessings nia na e kan ye hye no o kina ye besere wo ho e say oman bia say Angola mu na Equatorial Guinea mu o mo say ya o and so na fa ngono bo no go soro no oh la la they are going to the bank smiling and tika ye so ye niama yi a anka ye me say kan ye so fa ngo ekosuro a enya ade akese ebrewe no ye den Yesu nti asefem by the international prices no ebe wo so ye kakra but because of say ye dollar no akun edu no de bia maka kire se me ye refie o me ye refie na obo 17 no ya me se kwa kire anka kire se ka boxing bi ba o ni TV no so anopa we so ache sireko sa me the frequency amaka kire de bia se me ni arefie but got na CTV so near bon komo a abrantie bi ba be catch me say dollar and do 17 pen playing with my integrity kwache wo next time what dey obi ba I don't have control over your program now dey obi ba now he doesn't have the wit of thinking. I've said I value intelligence. I value character. I will value character over intelligence. Obe dia grow born here. Me on until we go lady no interview here no say it was 16.48 minimum your child mathematics because for 18 roll about 0.5 0.5 17 in mathematics and so for no to change na me catch say or no sure a businessman or real estate and Tafra Cho to the respect to my listeners. Oh, Nyasa Kakra.
Oh, he's my brother. He's my brother.
Well, Bobie, let me cut the sword where it comes on. When we are discussing things, if you want to play with somebody's integrity, look for information. Because you cannot impugn somebody when you have not checked it. And you know what I did for him? Behind the scenes, you call break, You see, I did a respectful thing to him. I gave him the chance. Say, this is the data. Data doesn't lie. This is 16.48. And I would say there's black market. On the black market, dollar coaching 11.15. Who call black market? But numbers are 12. And you know it. And you see, I'm telling you, and Emeka will show you so. And I mean, no, Bobie, you are Bobie. I don't know your riches, but you are not known because of your cars and your houses. You have built character. Somebody can be jealous of it. Ope, baby. A professor, doctor, out there. Near conformity and say, you will be, and SMBC say, you don't need a PhD in economics. No, I say, what they are calling losses. There's something we call cost. Running cost is different from the losses. Losses when you have actually applied the cost. Now what call you want to the expectation outcomes now everybody.
So I just want to understand the oil issues at international level because I saw some small tension between Turkey and Israel, American. Jet fighters were flying over.
So this
Syria,
is where you and I, strategically, the Kwabena Bobie Ansah, and Kabra na omomo kishia yi na ken de naka ye society of voting base ni mu a ye de kogu to a ye ya Ghana de enkoye dim Togo obi
ombefa bia ko so mefa nko
obi uni bia na ochina obetu akra se Bobie ne Jeff anya bia ni sese akra ye ma nim se we mu de ye ka.
Yeah.
And we can anyway.
Divine and Kruma journey. Divine, Akwaba.
Yeah.
Walk over there.
I'm not doing your walk.
Now, a form to say.
Oh, a form boko, BBI boko, and I'm yadum.
Now, I only a full Rafonisha. You know, you could do and cocoa.
Device you are boko. Divine, so no can do.
I know the cocoa. If you are Rafonisha.
Really cocoa pay for this year.
Almost 7 years better for that or Onze baby ani fa ko se na nkase mu pa na se e na asose from say na say me frey ona no the phone yan dia no my friend na me so kakakra ti akem kakati yake mti wadaro ma fresa me sacre kwa onse ada last 2023 onse no mutwa asase bi wo eye awori side no man ane do no me ka me sacre tai kopaye ma fre papai na nse ya so me sacre tai apai muso Mwakofa ties every China bakra some de beye kwia o. Wo mo ma me ba kumpo emfa hye me ka ya se obi amfi. Na me busa se nko ato mo nka. Efu ebesi efu. Ebesi efu.
Wa se ya ha ne o enko bia
obi enta. Efu ebesi efu. Ebefu no. Na ebet bi so afu ama awowo de jata betrem na you ofro obi ama
na elite that time na say ebu afaso no no sa samaba
obi enka hwe say ya do ama aye ayi ti omutidi muntini obi awa. Anyway, members, quick one. So definitely your listeners on Citizen Show person mo betie most more angles from this gold board minority majority, but there are some 2 new angles on this issue. One, Miss Haiti a year upon Kumani Ahmed nominated to Parliament to sermon Sammy Jemfi. However, they mentioned BOG.
Yes, Sammy Jemfi, not BOG.
Yeah. BOG. They mentioned say gold board any BOG aboka, but they are asking Esiama. Also, offer Ahmed letter no. Eno upon come letter no. Now offer a year after a press conference no. You see some disparities in there. Apenyo concentration was on Sammy Jemfi. While the minority ranking members now are talking about BOG. And I don't know. But Mamin found with this operational cost, whether operational cost, whether losses, whether what.
With the greatest of respect, the word loss, I the FNE, a car. Me family na embomu dade biada koto ade breme na yakoto ebru say ye benyam ne aton ebre na ye disika ne maame no ye maame 1000 Ghana me de koto ebru aba na ye nyama na ya ton me ko ya sama me lore fe e kan me ko yesu ya sama me sika kakra me di wakwan so esa se me koto me kodi dwa saa ni ama we nyina no enye eka adore ye se ye beka se ya boka ejuma no ho ka no eno no na ye beton saa mole na wi no emfaso a ye hwe enim se ebenya no ye nya ni ye kenkan sika na ye be yi saa ejuma no ho ka no efrim na o ka se wo de woni kwa no woni no wo de behwe eka na ye de maame se me nko afon koto ade no sika na maame se me mfa ni bi ena se sika na maame se me mfa fa ka no eno nkwa na wo behwe de a e de na kire se me ne wonya adwene wo ho enti gold board nie a okoto gold ni ebre Bank of Ghana no wa mo ekabia se ya boka se sika ne dwudegu Bank of Ghana no nso kra apo no ne dwuma ni mu no a monetary policy na oye no ne dwuma se ye no na na oye no ne dwuma ne se sika no de ba ko he will invest, they will invest that money this sika no ebeye adwuma ama aban ama ye niama bi aye de epiepie mu emfaso na ye se enya no se wanya sa mfaso na na obetimi aka se waboka enti eka bia ambepie mu America no enim yenko enti akire mu gold board eto gold no ema Bank of Ghana eto gold we for managing the monetary policy say or the beye ama ye economy no egina ACP sita na mamimbre fie menka se etiefo ente de ye kana se mechirechiri mama obia aba form obia ye nyina ya ate ase ebre bi atwem no ye se nana ewuye no ye me se port bi wo empa na se munkofa support nimbra ubo se gold wom ye se nana eba obre yi waja japade amaye sika kokko amaye ana o Kwame dosu ekonya business bi oyi ehun ka aba nana se me so de bank de misike ni obi munkofa sa port nimbra me omunkofa sa port ne ba se o monfa chensin bi na ehye me mpa ya se monfa mra ubo se awene gold ni ni amegum no we yi gold yi yesi o monton gold we na monfa sika ne yeden ensane sane Kwame dosu enfi sa trouble yim enu enti enye na gold board ni PPMC ene America ne UK for gold reserves ebe kire bibi say ye Ghana for no ye buchiem domestically no na ye sa investment ne da na ye na moto egudie we mu nyina ye
de bi sie
thank you ese awuchire ba ena na omode ye den omba akoton ye de asane sane
ye no reserve no
reserve nti ne ye fie domestically Ghana ye reserve ye na no mo onyansa o the only thing na omo any say pen na paper na they will catch the terms for it but bibia wo ye bia economically no mo ye bi crediting debiting omo ye bibia asa da and omo nim say separation of account enti na milo chinse no bidie sika na ewom ena milo ena nido de no na price sika na ewom almo ton ade they never made losses by mixing money they be that yako eni mom yako wie masters ni PhD no ena ya be di dream yes ni am say enti yen koso sa explanation to build the reserves no ena ma church dem no say or the gold no be to ni amam ya de a yen kai so one other issue they say the gold na gold board airton auto Ghana cedis mu na auto awie e the command Bank of Ghana say ko piem or Bank of Ghana reserve pe or forex value o kan be kan no amano ne sikem na global currency and near the year no nti no ubetimi dia akodi abontini dwa okay yanko enim bio no you can only contemplate calling it a loss say ubeka say ka after say odi gold no aba no niama say Bank of Ghana dey monetary policies no say policy rate beba form say inflation rate beba form say sa niama we say obo say at the end of the tunnel no or this iska we ni shame no emfa so be na akopie mu abonten no eno so na obetime gina na dey aka say waboka ana omoka enti my enfa no so ntum let's step by step let us arrange and understand everything obia enti me if you are a professor or a doctor come and disprove this one so that we can have a good discussion and I hear call him so no into enra de ne ne de na enfa chire dem in 2002 in 2022 you recorded cost of 60.81 billion cedis. The same I didn't make say Bank of Ghana I saw you know. I can't saw you na your system nim say either macro or micro reflexes no. And no say ye onko di sa adwuma no maye no. Adwuma no mo cost e be mu 60.81 billion Ghana cedis. Sa afidi mo no time odi sa sika we ejuma no ka akoto sa 60.81 no niama be na ekoso wo Ghana ha ejuma no ye nifa so be na yenyaye after that time na inflation high na inflation that 54%.
Yes, 2022
54% in December of 2022 na honeda wo ba sa the friend depreciated CD now as at that time no na CD no that 16.48 on the black market it was above 17. The same period na dollar as at June na dollar no 6 Ghana cedis yenko PM July December of the same year no na 9.75 Ghana cedis 2022 na mu no ebra na odi sika no opuru sika na gum 60.81 billion odi o manage no na eno so na hia pa twa se ka wanye de na minim bia na ka e bia kogina ni sikado do no no krapo e dia yemu no krapo no ene ekodu sa empepem so no ene yenko yenim den na esi ene sa ejuma na o ena Bank of Ghana na edi o ono na ejuma na ensesa ye ejuma na odi sa ejuma ne mu no 22 billion ena odi aye de ejuma na oye no ehun ka abe 22 billion no emu de den ene ehun ye. Inflation rate as of June of 2026 no na at 4.6 5.3%. See December July of the same year 2026 no na better 4.6%.
Okay.
Enti sa odi ye ne say my confuse sa mama nti nyansa bia wo mu krapo a ye ne say enfa say 2025 no krapo a omo ka ho asemi ye enfa say inflation it didn't go at 10%. Mama me confused say 10%. Na fa to 2022. Na he na me bisa say omo kan na omo ankan. Say o kan a na me hu si amene obedi nkomo no. And na me ne o kasa no apart from inflation rate no the dollar rate 11.5 Ghana cedis. Google it and see it. Yeah. But let me be fair and go to the black market and say we did that 12. Open cry and 13. What have you seen from 22 billion Ghana cedis investment no your inflation no at 4.6 you're 10%. I'm saying I'm being careless with figures. Let me be careless and confused. Let me be amused and perplexed. My margin when boom my name come from na men ka say 10%. My margin na some boom you know me from bra from say dollar no I got 13%, 13 cedis. Now what ho What's now we analysis, we are professor, we are doctor. Now to me, chile, na no kure dia. These are the macro that make them. Now oko bibia ye airton airtoa petrol no na die. See ne. Now ni bibia maybe months ago I'll repeat it again because you say Ghana phone be more short memory. Maybe ni bisa. Automatically now with this sika no wo do 60.881 no eko gumu no 60.81 billion or 60 billion eko gumu no abre no na say the car because of the dollar reflection no wo the dollar no crap ma me fan chom ne 16 cedis so the car $1,000 as at that time they say in Ghana cedi the car 16,000 cedis me boy and if you go by 12 Ghana cedis crap now so the car $1,000 they got 12,000 cedis. Yeah. So just from the word go, your debt stock goes down like this. Hey, I want the professors to come and sit down. Let's talk sense. This is basic sense. Hey, I've told you in this country, say, we will not value intelligence over character. And I'll explain it to you. Hey, any individual make me sure there, but if you don't have character, say, near the honor, 10, 10, 11, 20. Where do we go from here? And no afford because of honesty. Now who say matches factory or glass factory or no me boafo. Because the character of the Ghanaian at that time and they say yambuana Ghana na NCP na sita and you say you for coffee and you say you ngu. Now bidding about now no pa e catch them say by the face of the value no or no at that time no say yes and yes I can't be PM cry. What? And to me catch that me Ghana for Muntio MPP falling nu omo. I'm being fair as an analyst. Yeah. Omo nu omo because the guy is telling me say anything the main point of say anything 2 year efi abem and I blame the NDC for that. Because they are sitting down watching say it's a normal day. Say you almost fi power into that's the punishment. It is not. Our terms was to correct it. Say, now I behave. No, I just President Mama, with the greatest of respect, we brought you into power to take our money for us, not to come and tell us and blame people.
Will you agree? Say, Obi Emeki argument, or maybe not an argument, a petition.
Yes.
That okay, Yemfa Gold for Oil, Yemfa Gold Board, and set up a bipartisan committee to investigate dealings.
We may have to do that, but that is where, if I had gone forward, I'll tell you the role of the experts and academia. The failure. By this time, they mean here, if you professors, any doctors, or with all respect to them, and they say, they say, this is how it's supposed to be. As an analyst,
yes, but
as an expert,
but with that one, you are going to get
diverse
opinions.
I'll be frank with you. OCT committee and there, you say NDC for and OCT committee. So the independent people should be able to, just as they spoke yesterday and 3 years ago.
That is why I specifically mentioned bipartisan committee.
Say politicians no informal more like is it a political committee or if you say bipartisan, both parties should be
parties, or maybe let's take them out.
They can never have that one.
But
from day one,
even I think KPMG can do it.
So you see,
or
the funding sanctioned by who?
So again, exactly
by the government.
But that's it. It will be politicized. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm telling you that KPMG, you've mentioned right.
When KPMG, or which one? KPMG, right?
Yes, sir.
Investigated no way.
The banks, no.
The banks no cry. Papa ya cancel the deal ni.
The Jumla man.
No. Yeah, Oforiata this upstream and SML.
Yeah, okay.
But they were seen to be cleared. Say clear at the end of the day. A special prosecutor by him. Say who dirty deals now cover under these people. Yeah. So you are being directed
by
the
then government.
And you say various investigations because say political.
But that is where but that is where
investigations say you could encourage you no.
So you see, we'll go ahead and
that's a political.
But you see, I understand. But it has been the case.
Yes.
Every day.
So which means that every day case doesn't mean we cannot do it.
So I was actually referring to where you said. I'm actually referring to where you said. Ubo KPMG say as an independent observer, they could have also done that as an independent observer. Say amongst themselves as experts, KPMG, the other PwC, Pricewaterhouse in Yama, they don't wait. They can come out as experts and also they also do the commentary on some of these things. They could have come out as experts and from academia to have professors and doctors who are lecturing to also come out. This is how you have to straighten it. That's what the IMF is doing. If you want to maintain your integrity, IMF are about the Okan or the Koto Bank of Ghana, one gold board. So why that cost we say incurred say they've incurred any amount or say Bank of Ghana and he said we are experts for Ghana ha. You see timing when you talk is very important. Otina, say maybe sometimes I hit hard at CSOs or experts in academia. You don't wait one day, your workshop be about 2 years' time. Now say, like some time ago when the issue came between the NDC and BB, this is where it is laughable. It was clear that the Bank of Ghana was what was mentioned by the IMF, and I think that we should all have known. That is where I get angry. The timing, when you speak, we are madamfo, na papa we ebe yeme waha. Now to your hand no call. Now later papa we ebe PM no can say, oh, you weren't here. What the guy did wasn't nice. Because Jeff was saying, my friends know that thing. So it's now power chain. Now can't or trying to run no call. Now I chain now way back. Say you were not here when Jeffrey was saying that we not papa. Hey, me bufu no crap me the channel. So at the end of the day, what are we saying? The next one, debt stock. Let me catch you the impact on the debt stock. Some of the traders, almost some more trade associations and unions, they be makasa, and so do na assume no more. It's I say, Saudi Eka said 22 billion now, Okano. The better management now, Omudi Ashemuna, Omudi Scano, and $1 and yes, cash. Unsaso Munsua, and yes, Nebo was our form. More, even individuals are shop or net, so Niama, because of the CD dollar. We say CD appreciated against the dollar. No, who did Jack Rapport and auto food? We say so. Our form. Some benefits in Ghana funding now be a view. And I'm a foreign some work Macolano. Mumpo no Mabacano Crena Maye. Set time no more talk for gallon say. And then for about 1.5 years, no, it is so echo from fire mom. Or Mumpo, I must move no. So Modio Mangotana, University of Wisi, and University of Wisi, no, or Maco Monocrew. And so the reflections, they say it actually goes. Who is scanning Shemwa and you are managing your monetary policy to do here? I know, and then with him say, me call bank, Yame, and me judge, me call a treasury bill, me call no. Later, Dano. They say, I buy no, this can be moved. Me, I try any
rate, say,
me can't be so. 350,000, I am the go to church, I'm calculating and do 4,000. They be Bobie Ansah. They be na those time me twa mo kakra na me. Me so me call say or the 2 more. I'm sure about 2-3 weeks. I'm swearing to you. CBG. I say almost say or 2 more. Me lack na starting next week o. Dem I say people dem did dem best 3 weeks 1 month. Abai me fa. And now they na ye fum ma. They be. And this is what we're talking about. The government is not fighting with businesses over the sika bill or the jama here. And so be also a business for Ghana and in Aluna. And with Ghana no the macro indicators more, micro indicators more. So it's actually so Ochinayan Koyenim na say a human who can call for ma. I don't know what will happen again. Me sure say and the and here na me know the and here I got to for better 10 cedis.
I'll come back to you, Geoffrey. Quick one. If you are smart, says Bobie tell Geoffrey, you pedi o kan no bo table no so ayente. Yenti tika say some no ke ehonye di no nchirechiri.
ofan chairman na when him call for pass a minute Bobie na Bobie him said okra 50 we say 5 cedis na say Bobie be catch him say ono wako baby akodidi hotel kese bi na the chrono was 20 cedis nti you can say the chrono 20 cedis.
Anyway, Oyibo Boatin says that's Oyibo Boatin from Machima Nderebehi. Says Bobie, that should be an ad hoc committee including industry players, not by partisan committee. Okay. And I think
that's why we've had the National Economic Dialogue
ad hoc committee. Is that something that you want one or two people to come
first? If we all would agree on
after
a
dialogue,
Asa.
But they say, but
on the national dialogue.
Good. But what you want to communicate is we could get both parties to come together under one table and discuss all those things. At least Ghana will stand to benefit. And now, the academia to come out and form some, committee to investigate the then and now to see which exactly really cost Ghana so much.
A decade down the
lane. What do you say?
All right. Ibrahim Abdul Karim Jabbar says an African professor is a book professor with nothing to implement or create. A computer science professor can't put a computer together, which has turned into pieces. Book professor and doctor are book ones. Okay, all right. Virtually, what he wants to communicate is that look, has say H.U. and Paul, what they learn, they just theory was here, practicality and yajuma. All right, Okoto Ghana. Divine, kaja to me enko.
Yo, medase. Maminchia etiefo na minchia hwefo. Na gold board in some wrong. Imu atre, nkomoni mu atre, ena nya nkrabata. Ahodo bebre emu abi pa na ne kwan baabi no IMF nko agina ne nko Samije mfi gina ne side Bank of Ghana gina one side minority gina one side and ahwenyo marking so nko gina one side and obia ma discussion yakeka bomu left right center Jeria Kamenko so ka ho sisi akomo no emu atre na wonim bone of contention no day and then komo ya ebui den ti ni ababedu sa bepeso ababedu ya bedu hanom because IMF make claims be in their report to say ABCDBSC whether the real interpretation and as a meaning of omunsem na omo kan report ni mu no so another thing na ye be discuss it. But you see, let's bring the discussion home. IMF aye hwan yen defining IMF no ankasa ejumakuo no agency no ana as institution no mujumedi omudi hwe so hwe IMF established no 1944 one of the Bretton Woods institutions omo interest any jumedi ankasa omudi so hwe history mu ni ambakose mu IMF all the political parties are atwam edibesi nyina obie ni ho no mo a oye so proud say oni IMF edin kita ho a odebe fans abinda da ebe catch us say IMF Akufo-Addo obia no proud 2018 na Akufo-Addo say we are a proud nation Ghana beyond it will never go to IMF and NDC for the omo ye nyina ye fi IMF nobody wants to go there. It means to say IMF nankasa agina onom no enye omusem bia ombeka kire yen no ene ebeka so IMF institution we ye omusem obeka bia ye fa ne satra Bobie okay 2008 Kufo eba be fi power no IMF ye report to be enom de ba ebeka say Kufo amanage economy ni ye pa so okay because of odeno hokobo the heavily indebted poor countries epic no just implementation no aboa emasisi no economy ni gina ne nanso unim said the same IMF na masa report no in 2009 Mills take over in July 2009 and the same IMF for we
eba no beka kire Ghana for say debi Kufuor manage Ghana ye kra wa say o man Ghana te say be bi ode ye akwakodu ni de ebe hia say ese say yes so bo mo hobi as perform kai ni say Ghana was facing tight fiscal conditions and imbalances inherited at the end of 2008 because of mismanagement. That's how they described Kufuor buying 2 bills.
Omugu
animu as such as wanye na adwuma. Ebio hwe IMF pro ya unim say in 2022 time wa Ghana yes yo enyema mu ayedin pa de ama oman Ghana ntino ye behia bailout no
2022
2022 unim say kwaji IMF bailout $3 billion dollars. Now that time no IMF former esika no
nye no na edibidi dokon
ni nyina ka ho ba me ka de conditionalities na ka ho no IMF fuo adisika ma yen enom the conditionalities this strict government austerity measures tied to IMF bailout no no kire aban no how they should live, how they should spend their money, how some bomb bra unim say that time no amuma esika no na that time no na ye sika ni bia edi si cathedral ye bomb manika. What's in any IMF reporter ka say sika omo di amaye no aban no de AC cathedral wesi na. That time when the government was being wasteful and engaging in profligate expenditure and expenses no what is omo kai. So what it should tell you is IMF na kasa no omo ye pick and choose omo topic no the be favor omo how I will make them look good no enu ni komo and omo highlight it o say no anu de omo pe omo moso iti IMF no munya ya enkomo we nka yenye na yete anu mo aye di san komo because see o bobie me no kasa sisi IMF no eka ibosia ebofi omo 3 billion omo ma ho conditions yi enese me no di komo yi gold board the same amount of money na kasa no omo generate so it should tell you say anya de a omo betra honum saa kwa e de omo ani ahwe wo se ne wo de nkomo no ebeba nti e de omo betu bi atomu
because omo say you are writing
a narrative b
which is positive
see it's all the negatives are happy and you onina also man can omo mbo ho de ade no mo interesting kwa we gold mu na mama ka se nchiro mama nchiro ba bia nkomo no efi enye IMF nkoa e na ma afanyo ma kene minority for ekoko apaya omo yedede se wo kaya in 2018 17 January na Akufo-Addo ebe kai say Ghana or say $5 billion missing from gold exports to UAE alone. Imagine say presidency a report say Oman Ghana lose $5 billion through smuggling. And kwa call UAE United Arab Emirates. Bisa say sa smugglers no more in the middle na ye ma you lose esca no more hefa. You think say by this time they are happy about how Ghana is taking control over no any resources and the gold na. Omu nyina so ehhehye encrophobia echi and omu pushy a certain agenda. Na iti me discussion we dey hear me say ye Ghana ho asem nhia ye kese because say e kan ye putu Ghana first obo say san komo we no na nya asem bia I say ye hu de da na abonte so for krampo eti asem. In 1964 the same thing happened to Kwame Nkrumah. Unim so am de beto no so say Kwame Nkrumah overburden oman no highly indebted. Yedika. And Kwame Nkrumah episode what fools you are. Because ekabenu abo pakwaji sika you can see say oko temahabo or the see tema township or the see temaboto way or the factory. Until they will create the impression say yeah boka. Meanwhile the things now happening no the tangible evidences now they are there but they will not pay attention to those things.
Right. Nkrumah, I think you have that video. Get me that video.
Mami misao denti na gold board is setting up in the first place. See, send a control, you take full control of your resources. Any your goodie ayewo. Na sa sika na bia nya bia ye dia support ye forex ye reserve any de keka ho. Now bisa won say If we find your baby do baby, I do ya, and they do be a pampa so I born a tico, a bona pampa musano. Now, me say, Obi Bakasa, I don't think say should be this kind of people. I and people in my minority on being common because this is a who name Abako Sem. In 2022, Mami got some in 2022, Amu engaging in what we call senorage. Amu koye and Omuko Chesika 60.8 billion and Omudigu in say Amu de so yen even say yen sidino against the dollar no and no send even without parliamentary approval and Omu engaging in that thing. Now you see in Kenya sembiampo because say a solve problem no maya say after all there you talk about amount ye the yan say all the policies ebegu akwemu na man for one atom but you see omudi gu mu kra na video nyama no agye wire agye sem because omudi twa acid no begu system ni mu no and omu ye quick and omu this acid no cost $1 no omudi go mu fi enu bi na ya ohun osili adapa fi enu bi na yi mami ya no flaster house ya si okoyi ni bag wo wardrobe ni so a chikari jiguru ni so a o tiatia mo keka mu it is sad no mo engage no ubi sa ho say ti mu amu yes ade we nyina ye nya so fa so no but see BOG and the ma gold board sasi kana ko mo de om de ne ye reserve no mo de share on gold board you BOG the same thing no e be share gold board mu na me kan kire so bank of any central government be the support be the ma agency be no person fan show up the currency na onya hoden ya there's nothing wrong see theory be anywhere support say abaye twesi kan wire loss and there will be make losses na be example bi say uko a event saying Fed US say am no kase ya asat June ya amu injecting $10 billion into the US economy to stabilize short-term funding. And no a loss, but almost making sure say omu currency no strong. Over India July 14th, draw nearly $10 billion under RBI's deposit drive no to support their rupee. It's this cancel the share system nimu. So over Japan asset between 2022 and 2024 alone. Japan use the foreign exchange reserve to stabilize their yen. Do you know how much they spent? They spent 15.3 trillion. Oh, the bad dollar more $97 billion. And no call 2022. And now 2024, almost spending 36 trillion. Oh, the bad dollar more 230 billion cumulatively. And no the best share. Oh, we says come pretty says can the best share. Reserve no the best share.
Just to
sustain the economy. So who policy be obey who strategy be obey be man for high. If you want me to say how sustainable is this? I do we and who be pay and Uncle Jessica. I dear no plan now on say be far and so we used to share. About losses any day omu plan be no fire. I'm buy gold for oil. Now gold for oil no crap sabi been previous and penny for him. Nya wunya say me the gold no come market one na me cotton wa. Meji sika na me mako negotiate oil no. Na me maton oil no send ya me pen na me di aba. Unim de omo ye. Omo ji gold na me di ama me middleman. Agent. Na agent na determine say mu gold ya mo di ama me di menya 10 tankers wo mu. Inti be kwa meji 10 tankers abremo omo eno no value no na ti wu ni me be eton oil no wu ni say na all the gold come market eton no and am dey come third person so ombe yi again these same people and there omo boy achem so omo ye dede and there na ka gold board ye ndi san komo we they nearly nyame na fafie na ka koklovi akrofosam na komo de Japan Royalties Limited. Aye, the same thing. Omu kwa koton yen gold omu kwako G busia $500 million o. Na ye to gold na near the akokomo UK company. Na omu kakra na we chire 25% no. Ni ababa bedi. That was the royalties. Ni na yo omu plan and these people catch say omu plan bi a ye ntie na ye de ekoso. Hwe bobie. This year, let me talk about gold board nakasa. Loss asem na omo kana me church romu yi. A basic mass. Unim say the IMF. This year me no kasa breaking news. IMF aba beka say sa 214 million no beka say loss no enye gold board loss na accounting cost enu ni see na ma me nchire omu de nti a asem ne te sa me say wo de auditor general's report edit to IMF report one me fa auditor general's report over IMF report because at least auditor general's report unim na ba kosemo a hardly say auditor general's report na be conceal bibi at best na wo mu be yen kan yen take action and go for a prosecutor bebre auditor general's report mu an FFI and then also mo ba no ma be sesa ma no chama be sesa ma no unim de si ye hwe at a point no BOG edisika edema gold board inti sa time or this sika na ma gold board no bisa won say na dollar any cedi net say na 14 plus sa time no inti fanse bobie obi ma 100,000 na say osifa kwa business na say dollar no rate no 14 by the time wa transaction ni be go through awie na wo ba beto na abeje balance no na ababe do $10 ababe 10 cedis per dollar you will get the same value na ndam me fatu do another platform be say meti ya say me abusia panyi na me ne me yere ne me mamu ya wo card ya nyina ye dia card value ni ye 80,000 Ghana cedis but some deal be aba I say me strike me nya 300,000 cedis but me need scan readily available but me nya 40,000 na me de me pay because me abusia panyi no makọ ton car 40,000 abusia for the ombe de say car 80,000 ade na akọ ton 40,000 but 40,000 me turn around go business by me nya 300,000 it for the record no there o the two record no so a obehun say ampamato abusia for car no
but the returns of the
Mediaba no bro when say
in any case what are we looking for a resource because we should pay 80,000 the akwaya there at the end so you return 80,000 massa ban 40,000 make wa 10 around
and na me kwaya no so ampamato 300,000 aba
that is 3 times of what the family needs
it the upper was no be no bedwele on 40,000 akoto and say on your book 300,000 no buy and don't discuss it on ka ho asem that is what en common ye di ni sesi ame no ka say apart from that hwe then ho asem na ye ka sesi a unim say na ye public debt and nam almost 700 billion unim say because of almost stabilizing cedi ni nko against the ye to me tio ye nye tricks bi aban ni nye magic bia ye save ye ho 109 billion
Ghana cedis
yes ye but okay say first no ye GDP ni ye calculation ni nyina ye teteka ni nyina afimu a you remember say now we were spending in excess of even saying 50 to 70% editia external debt. Yeah, the service external debt. Yeah. And then we don't use the same amount of money to service our external debts. And I say, yen debt ayete. Into the sanema now you were talking about our inflation, baby. Baby, babedua. And then it is so obvious, say, full the prices. So all I'm trying to say is say gold board no. And so omujume di omudi any discussion baby edu no yehusu nsanso omo pompe sika bebre di gu mu de ayu na yehunhwe miwa no omo no omo kasa enti me kasa obi ebro criticism so anase me enka obi asem hwe samije mfi onam ho no on chain criticism on your public officer so pese adwuma no on pese be kana asem a onye ono betena ba wo so a wo kana asem no ka asem no se ne yet men personalize no matise grofo bi say na send your kasa no too harsh and as you reply and responding and see if somebody dares or tries to impugn your character now person ti asemansi here asemansi ni panel project say in future already net say ono no we define no answer we classify we say we ye kronfo kransa na we be fi we bra report to be anchire you say we ba bill conditions a omo ba ba mu a ebenya ono kra de untumi meet na just wo afra thief no na se nipa timi fra thief sa na onje wasem ontie wasem ya wo nya na de na so ye no ese ono no to that test ni mu akasa na wo ye ne ho fi etimi samije mfi asem no kan ye no it just that or the free no because why not you say oh target nipa no personalized discussion no mo on one hand mo ba no ba be gold board mo me when you go to parliament the discussion is different now mo focus as shifted to BOG it means that munim dia mo ye when samije mfi e ka say wo try say wo extort sika e dey fi no bobie me say me ye afenyo makina enne it doesn't come by this time case no quarter me siu samije mfi say CA anase ma resigning
one breath he is claiming so the America
just Jesus why quiet tie also the Jesus and why quiet and I see also asesa ne plan no onye say clearly rutimu say I see enclofo ni ma apenyo mark history so wo case anka wasiu da upa Google afenyo marking defamation Google say obehu na of enclofo a wo de o makọ a waje hu sika
James
modern Ghana waje o musika
James akwara no central region or so the court on another lecture lego or the court defamation we need
enti anya de a enye say onye bi do de ache asem bi wo ho me SSC investigate esi probi utie MBB for no sisi an komo mo kan say it doesn't change the fact say you see making losses okay fine say if it doesn't change the factor it doesn't also change the fact to say afenyo marking tried to say or use criminal means to extort money and it's established because the Samije fee at there no say baby opebia onfa ne so nko baby aye ntia na etie de na je se prempren mu de na je se ade ne de oye na nso obedi bone na na wadi na ni magu ase nti bobie me de me pese experts entna se near have this discussion about the losses because losses no whether you like it or not no if say ade be to so 1 2 3 years 4 years and sustainable yet to me make losses sir but sad discussion we know yem fambre fie yem stay away from the personalization ni character assassination ni say na ye din komo as if say ye target obi say na be manim nipa na look bad give a dog a bad name and hang it any de keka ho no san niam ni nyina no ye ntwa so na ye ma adwobrel embra na ye hwekọ be fa so a because ade no eye adwuma ye nya so fa so
okay a point of correction about yeah you see let's note one thing. A Bank of Ghana is not a for-profit organization.
Yeah.
Monetary policy is actually udi sikano ubeye owejuma bi di nejuma no udi sikabe shem ama economy na jina. So you need to be looking at the macro and micro effects of what oil no. And there is no profit expected. You are not also expected say when you put in there we will not see the changes we are expecting. And that is what we have to run away from. There should be a cost incurred in their activities. At the end of the day, the other side of the tunnel must produce something. Mm-hmm. And that's why I broke it down to the barest minimum. Say, even if it's an Uber, you need to buy the car. You need to buy fuel. You need to wash the car. You need to be servicing the vehicle. Let us not continue to confuse losses with cost of running an entity.
So practically, we won't pay the word losses.
I want the losses to be evident at the end of it. After you have operated.
That's a policy costs. What do you say?
Thank you.
In all this that's a Bank of Ghana, you also need to factor why omuma gold board ska.
But in analyzing the opponent's statement, you need to emphasize on the fact that they mentioned loss.
They cannot.
Then you can explain why.
You don't need to go with them.
No.
There's a standard.
Why the car say gold board? Eton gold.
Anyway, I'm coming to you, so let me just land.
No, but I was just correcting that. Sure. We should be sure about the fact that there's a cost element now as a Bank of Ghana. The human ankasano. On first so the profit and our returns na say no the indicators that go board no so no say the money year and say who say forex no report or inflation rate policy rate say near money na say show and you don't let any low minded person you see you're pushing me I'm trying my best to be a gentleman. Don't push me. Let us not behave. Say I got to that classroom. You see the minority is making an argument. Who are the minority? They are not the standard.
All right, thank you.
The IMF itself is not the standard. But it's not the standard.
But at the end of the day, the minority is taking a IMF
and the IMF themselves, they actually will pick whether the argument befits their interest. At a point, they were praising President before. On the other side of the coin, and then on the other side of the coin, if you have anything we call integrity, I don't value intelligence over character.
I'll come back. Divine. But who information me from IMF? Time in the buy. No, you showed.
Yes. A few minutes ago.
A presser.
Yes, like the country, So when you check GH1 on page,
But mommy introduced you. I mean, she was with us in the struggle. And hey, fairly. Only say me acquire honorable and then the dam and you're trying to do
yes. It's free no free me. No free me. And I'm coming to her. And the creator of my band, my young or air some it's here for Miss Ram.
Anyway, but now she's the deputy director for CEO, for also
tourism development.
Yeah. My confused because they have
authority.
Yes, also your authority. Anyway, we're a development company. Anyway, but Felia, what to say?
We are resetting.
New experience.
Reset. What am I from? Maybe not if you're Javante Minka.
As a feminist, do manage. As a feminist, I usually I've stood. Nature made me a feminist. I have 4 big sisters with no brother. But the company, I had tourism development,
Okay, we are the account. No, you're back.
Anyway, and I other private institutions now who said they are running events all through the week. And La Palm.
Okay, so La Palm, just to give you a bit of history, La Palm is owned by SNET. Well, La Palm is privately managed. It is managed as a private company, but no, maybe it is not GTDC. A mandate in Kase, Yebera Hotel, Biaka say, hey, Yabaha Yebabe Raniama. But La Palm, to be honest, to the current administration and management of Mohono, from last year, for the first time, they made a profit. For 7 years, and they were making losses. Until last year was the first time they made a profit. Until La Palm is turning around. It might not be in its best position.
Which is La Palm is a private?
No, private. So it's owned by SNIT. Management, yes.
Management.
Yes, but at least no. But now, since we came in, in society, La Palm. You can know this is on the books. This is a fact. Say, no, whether you're with me, some may come as in the Fala Palma, 7 Bamber to Yami. Because but GTDC, we don't. Yes, no, they made a profit for the first time last year. So I'm very proud of the management. They're doing well. Nancy Otumuse, they do a lot more conferences. It will honor me, and we'll continue to support them in that regard.
Okay.
But anyway, moving on swiftly.
Yes. But your experience in government, how is it like?
Oh, Kwabena. Yes, I say I want to come back to the matter at hand.
Okay.
Yes. Next time I'll come
back to you. So let me deal with Harun and then I'll come back to you. Harun, so here we are. The conversations keeps on, going Gold Board, blah blah blah. The response from the CEO of Gold Board, and we are trying to pick a IMF for current statement. Then we will add it to you. But for the meantime, you can roll.
Commander Maminchia, ATF4, FF4, Maminchia, Obia, Michia, me co-panelist. Na Mamin Sankai, Omo Pesa Omo Hajj next year. Say, Yabi for payment. It is we are crowd for next year. And train a mag kutano, a son and son, over Baba, say, the bank and many quota. Na many slots near Ekaka Hunti. Yakai will be say, Ubia Momodina Kotia. The amount is still 60,000. The amount yet we have for this year, Omonpenyin, even though there has been increment in Saudi Arabia, but Omonpenyin Kase there be
which means a buying number somewhere, is that what?
Well, to a large extent, yes, somehow. Okay. But you know the promises made by His Excellency during opposition time. No, Kase, he would make sure, sir, every Muslim will be able to perform Hajj without having to fear or having the challenge of raising the funds. Okay, I said now at the 75,000 before Bepe at least near would be able to spend it as your upkeep and all that. So when he came in 2025, first already seen it to 62,000. This year I was already seen it to 60,000. This year the fare was 60,000. For 2027, so Osimayen is going to make sure, say, whatever differences, if the government can support, just to cushion the Muslim community, the Muslim Ummah to be able to perform Hajj without any challenges. Intimekai will be say the payment is ongoing. We have started receiving payment, and we are using the same quota for now, 6,819 they call this year, and we are maintaining the same number. So the payment is fast going. So Yakai will be say if we are crado bomodiana kotia. Commander, we share good board. It's a same you're discussing in this country. To a large extent, I blame IMF. I don't blame opposition. I blame IMF. And we share the modus operandi of IMF. Nobody will tell you they always seek to their interest. Yeah. Their interest first. And so whatever happens, even in NDC those days, we tend to believe whatever IMF says. But with National,
that's the reality.
That's the reality. When you sit down to do your critical analysis, you appreciate the fact that we have been misled over the years. And so it is very necessary, sir, when you are doing this, you need to at least remember where you are headed and also get to understand their interests as well. Look, it is not for any reason that the opposition today, NPP, would labor hard on good board, simply because they know that what is happening today is a success. They failed. And let's look at when and how good board came to be. Even so, let's look at the two factors for these two institutions that comes out with every year report or quarterly report on SANA, the Oman Ghana as a country runs with the civil society and the public sector, the government, and all that. This country, a body that is mandated to auditing every activities of this, country. The IMF, as a secondary checker, to also come out to pick certain reports within the confines of Ghana. It is that report is not coming from America or the Europe. It's coming from Ghana, and we have an independent institution like Auditor General, who does everything to reveal the rot or the success of every institution. So you try to find out what factors constituting this report from the IMF and from the angle of Auditor General. If you look at the books of Auditor General reports, you can say 917 million surplus gained by good board. And then IMF is coming to also say, per their report and per their investigations, Gold Board is making losses. So what factors constituting this report? We need to look at them.
Actually focused on cost, the increased we say cost of operations.
Yes, Oman uses specific word like losses. Is the MPP minority using it?
Good.
And that's my headache here.
Good. So if you try so hard to give it a different interpretation, the bottom line is losses. That is what you want to say. It's not about operational, gaps, operational losses, no. And for someone to come out and hang you, say you are actually responsible for all the antics of the IMF, it means a lot. And so the facts need to be explained. And that is why I'm looking at it from the angle of constituting what constitutes those.
I don't know. Say IMF state operational cost. Are they wrong to state it? Alaja Gongo say me operate as for 3 months. Me operate we are fell betro report ediako. Fell so Ajuma Bobie a year no ani nyina no. Or this car 20 cedis and or the year operational cost. What did you answer boy? So what did you no dia kwa say Bobie aboka what this car no. That is where the problem is.
So very good. So the findings from both institutions, Auditor General and then IMF, interest NPP more than the Auditor General. And funny enough, the same Auditor General report.
Because when you said the ordinary Ghanaian enter the word operational cost as it, but yaboka de obiati as it. But waboka, oko kejetia waboka. So or you use simple word terms.
Yaboka any ejuma no ka no enya de koro.
But when you say ejuma no odani uka waboka etre no a otiase ntentem ene waboka chere say we this ka no. So that is the tangent we play.
You see, the IMF tries so hard to identify the policy costs of Bank of Ghana.
Me pacho man try the way in fam. Me say yenu anu mo hwe. Man for send me message Haruna Ekabro Frodo. You see, obi say Haruna, I can't sit here na me share say katwi nyane language or try. So also one kind local language, you know, baka dagbani. You can't force anybody to speak. Please. Yes, me, I'm very open-minded person. You can't force him.
They say chief for which Aruna now so church them. And I am the same more better say. It's as a year we cry Muslim Chinese. What's up?
Haruna, I said that. Onye
and sometimes certain words be I'm not able to express. Need to me expressing who to say.
Hey, I'm right here. But I'm not. And for
those days now, Halidu.
Halidu Asempa.
Halidu gets so confused.
Is it Haruna or Haruna?
Yes.
Halidu. I don't know what you can say. Sabi. Oh, my, I see somebody's been teaching you. What we come here now? Bobby Akache say, "Asem we Ghana and Sison say,
yes. And the mom fan tell me, you and yes be wa said that. Me yes, me a twini. We don't have anything like a tree program, no, a local, dialect. But so no case or Kadagbania, so please allow.
They should allow me flow kakra. When say me country, that means West will meet me born tree. And there are ways that if I want to flow, I have to come in. I say English, bro, so that I can flow. Yes. Oh, so the point in this IMF omo interest, and every policy regulator omo interest, so that at least it will serve as check on omo superintending the advances that they give to every country. And so that policy, the idea and they must also be at least somehow fair and transparent in their reports. And that is why IBMO at all time would not advise any country to go to IMF for money, because the conditions that they would put the Ghanaian or that citizens through and Okaya from 2012 to 2016, the conditions in which at least Ghanaians passed through at the time. So it is something we should at least try so hard as country to avoid. And avoid the way I'm not sure said they can come be speaking the way they speak when people would make meanings to whatever they say. Sure, the Auditor General report, reporter, whether we like it or not, is what as a country, as a sovereign country would use. We are Ghanaians, we are not Americans. And so the hypocrites like NPP, especially Afenyo Markins, should go back to 2022 up to 2024. The operational policies and gaps are not a war at their time when they were funding the good for oil. And then also the DGPP. What I said, the DGPP, those days through PMMC. Yes.
So, MPP for some catch say, using how much? 22 billion cedis?
Yes.
To close down banks. No more can say.
No more can and 100 million.
Yes. 9 billion.
9 billion. Yes.
9 billion.
Yes.
What
do you say? So if you look at yes.
Anyway, let's go.
So say in the area of 400 million policy cost now Bank of Ghana in Kenya from 2012 from 2022 to 2024. No, who should we blame it on? Should we blame it on PMMC, or is it your friends and Bank of Ghana at the time? Now, so every policy and the way you design it would certainly come with costs, and that cost doesn't mean say the institution that is mandated to purchase A or B. For example, when you are setting up a company, before we set a company no Korano, you would have incurred certain expenditure. There are certain expenses you would incur. So does it mean say to set up gold board and to see everything working at the time or before? No, nature say there were no losses. There were losses because the gold board inherited PMMC with its liabilities and assets. And at the time that a gold board came to being, what was the amount of policy costs that they inherited from Bank of Ghana? 400 million. Did we say at the time, say, your friends say, PMMC, na boss akano? You could not say that. Because it is something the Bank of Ghana funded. And putting all this together, nobody will tell you, say, the gold board is the driver and sustainable, macroeconomic indicators in Ghana for today. Because the amount of money the gold board has, gotten within this short period, nobody will tell you. If we allowed it like before, they can just carry it and go and sell, sit somewhere, and then these Arabs or whoever will come and meet you in your hotel room. You talk about it, they give it to you, take your money and come back. No? If we are continue to allow it, I'm not sure, sir, all those things that we have seen today in the past, the Bank of Ghana would only rely, say, our cocoa was the only source of hard currency into the country. Today, we have gold that is even leading the cocoa industry in terms of bringing hard currency to this country. Making sure, say, the dollar for the past, getting to 2 years, let me say, has not gotten to 13 something since the NDC came to power. Has not gotten to 13. It is always 12 point something, and now 11 point something till date. Why did NPP not seeing that those days that you could say going to buy a dollar at 16 or 17, the business community. But today, as we speak, you can sit down and project 3-4 months to come with certainty. In the past, you could not have certainty. So the hypocrisy of Afenyo-Markin is to the extent that what Sami said about him is the ample truth and nothing else. Because today, in Parliament as majority, you so pretended this. Those losses of Bank of Ghana. Now, that time no dey, na any losses, and I no yanton gold. Is it because everybody could trade gold at the time on pay, and now today because it is regulated that you have no business carrying gold if you are not part of or if you have no license. So what Afenyo-Markin and NPP is doing is to incur the wrath of Ghanaians, the reasoning Ghanaian, not all Ghanaian, because sometimes, Ubisa NPP niya, Obekacha say niya Afenyo-Markin's no NPP whether they understand it or not. But we, as reasonable Ghanaians from the NDC and beyond, nobody will tell you, say, the dollar is an enabler of the economic activities and the stability we are enjoying today. So for me, there's no way, if you ask me, that Afenyo-Markins will not go to court. There's no way, because everyone would get to expose Afenyo-Markins under dealings. Okay, so I just say Afenyo-Markins. Okay, let me tell you, I say Afenyo-Markins, nama NPP turn into pressure group. Okay, because we share what is happening today. And in the lieutenants, 4 of them. What did I say? So, so Afenyo-Markins has made NPP more or less a pressure group. Ghanaians doesn't take NPP serious again, simple because of what is happening today. Look, the gold board is, I don't know how to term them, but it's an institution that is sent by God to come and rescue the mess that NPP left for Ghana. How much in total, if you put everything together from 2025 to date, can you tell me the amount of money the gold board has injected into this country through Bank of Ghana? We would have gone to IMF several times. We would have gone to Eurobond. We would have gone to the market to bring money for the past 1.5 years. Akaba. So, and that is why gold, and that is why the NDC and the MPP cannot rationalize, cannot come to terms with why for more than 1 year or two, getting to 2 years, and NDC has not gone to the market, to the Eurobond market to borrow money. And so all these things is hurting the peace of NPP and those who are, let me just say, the enemy of the country, especially Afenyo-Markin. So for me, there's nothing to worry about. Yentimi nkase nia Afenyo-Markin's eka is not a calculated attempt to denigrate the integrity of Sami Gyamfi. It is there. It is clear, evident, clear. But the Ghanaian businessman and men and women will appreciate the fact that whatever happens today has a reason, and we all support Sami Gyamfi and the good board. Yes. All right.
Thank you, Haruna. Fally, conversation with your radio and other responses. What do you think within your circles, you and your friends? What do you discuss?
Okay, I think first of all, Ghana 2015.
Yes.
There was an IPO which was issued by ADB Bank, almost public. And Afenyo-Markin, there was a tape that came, a 42 minutes tape, in which they say Afenyo-Markin no person or bribe.
Microphone.
No person or bribe.
Yeah.
In MPP 4 cry or police for NDC 4 be took it to on my arresting CID man bill cried 500,000 cedis at the time.
Oh, he was arrested.
Yeah, he was interrogated.
I see.
Yes, and it was granted bail of 500,000 cedis. This is 2015. Okay. And on one internal committee later March 2016, AD before issue statement say no money was given to anybody. No. No money was given to any MP. That was their statement in March 2016. Just to just memory taking it down memory lane. So of course, same way I was alleged at the time. Yeah. But these are all things which happened in terms of the investigation and whatever. Eventually, in the case now, Biana in AD before I say okay. Inti when the issue of extortion comes up and it's the same person, Bioma, Emma, what dream we will be kakra? Ayo some way kakra. You're like, okay, 2015, 11 years later. The same person,
the same issue,
same kind of issue, government related. Person used to not drink, you know. I mean, that's why but no, I'm just saying, it's just these are questions.
No, history is there to guide us.
Yes, questions. Yeah. Okay. And apart from that, you have to understand, MPP4, the reason why Omenia Brepa or gold board and the submission finish say, current flag bearer. 2016, he touted himself as the economic whiz kid. The economy, yanka sen adie dana kuma swa, no babe solve problems into from the forex rate, ocean exchange rate to inflation. Sanya money na ye ka se oba ni na be ye kama. Ghana fu na know what happened. And yemi mpo na mebo bosso inflation rate and yemi na me ka chemu. We knew what was happening 2022, 2023, 2024. Dollar koya could do 16. Ye nane okruma. Intino, if you see someone attack it, once and now, the way our economy now is stable, no. Ushe dollar rate now is stable. Inflation, a form. Into that is the thing. Into now about 2028, now be year campaign now. He can't. It is so to me damage your reputation on the economy. Saying so that your backbone now yes, I mean, finish gold board no. Who damaging now BBR say so then you can come back and probably try because what is expertise? He's an economic person and in the area of expertise. And today in the pan or back catching 2028.
So because which means we're at 2028 and now they need to talk about the dollar rates.
Yes.
No mere comparison.
Exactly.
They need to talk about fuel prices.
Thank you. No mere comparison.
They need to talk about inflation.
Exactly.
They need to talk about prices of goods and stuff.
Into to me, I say,
and about infrastructure.
Yes.
And even with the infrastructure, the gold board is there with the expressway, roads, and all that. Anyway.
Into that's the into almost when we air drive this political witch hunt. When they talk about political witch hunt, claim say mystery. Because share what they've been doing to Samiji over the last best 1 month, especially, they have been focused. And if you look into to the point where people are saying stuff like, oh no, the bail conditions quite a man no die bet no.
That was
insane. You are claiming say no, and you are prophesying say corona na wabono. Time unim time kwabe we need election no. Who we need election na? Who we need we are now over man the bail condition. Who need a dream fee. You don't even want to win the election because you person best to Ghana for Shebre. You want to win an election so you can go after people. Yeah. So you can give people terrible bail conditions. And the miss ask something the future is pregnant. Why? The past was what? Time no more arresting me no 17 days no. Then the past the past
the past was barren.
No, the past no best triplets, quadruplets and yet the future is pregnant too. In some the moment can be crime I mean to be. Just say not the future just some cars some pay them any person be they can do whatever they want. If you can arrest 53 young people protesting against Galamsey, who to me the come to jail 17 days.
A big crabo.
Yes, Oliver there he was in for the best 25 days. Who to me the nipa kotu na mu wi a bet now say the future is pregnant. Now where you bail conditions be ma ono. Who into the Facebook
because
no I am say na as we any passing will be an answer. Yes, yeah. All of a sudden, your Nina is gone. The fact that you had Honorable Atto Forsen, how many years was he in court for? Say to Agongo, how many years were they in court? Now, all of a sudden, suddenly people being arrested. Who has put in more politicians or more jail or more CMPP? They have jailed a friend saying, Honorable Kwame Performa Fanantu. Into who at that level of Kwame Performa's level have we ever jailed?
Just imagine when we want to make case we see here. Then before you can go Facebook. Want to be as Antinti. And I'm a Kobusa, I'm saying, Kwame Performa, or your Zamana Obviously, I said this is the assassin because you're doing this. I know I did it to me.
Into media, no, I think they've spoken a lot on operational cost and I think at this point there, most people are muti, they should be able to understand. Say there's a difference, but they MPP for no moka say losses. Only them say loss so, but I brought any baying, just to be able to drive home a false point. Just to score political points, because right now, I say, say party, I say, more followers, no matter mebu. If you need to do something, say, hey, yeah, BB, you have to be seen to be doing. Once I find your market, no, he's on shaky ground because not all support taken.
Yeah. So this morning, quickly,
yes. Inti onim say bia, obeso ya no pano, ne red letter man say abrantie. Minority leader from Bra. So he has to be into this is also forcing him into absurdities. Because I said the bian or sorry no ye be not just hey me wa ho me ni hanu ma mu ni obi obeye say juma we that ni na so driving. So there's so many different motivations, but none of them are driven say Ghana for ye munti no moye. Don't be fooled. We are all Ghana for we are very discerning and will not be fooled by these antics. And people are not fooled by it. We are not fooled by it. Because okay, for instance, last week, Friday, Samiko China said, or there almost said, friend in Bra Parliament, he's ready to submit himself. Where is the summons? What is the delay? Momot claim say major mo person mo first ameba na majority leader. Etiam mo na so say yen fa samemba. Samia kasa say, my ready. Mo frame membra. Why are we doing this media? Which you have the powers in Parliament to question the person. So why you say? Say if you unim so the papa na oye na no kre na wo kan. Mo follow process ne.
Just a point of information. Now the entire na Sameka Lokati said the audited report was not ready at the time. The audited report for Gold Board. And he was waiting upon that one.
So even if you call me that time,
I'll be giving you what my operational issues are. But now audited, the independent body had not audited. And then the graceful one, Anyame Amagana, ya constitutional chairman, is the public account committee, a opposition, ni and a chairperson. So why is your problem?
Okay.
Audited general report, the first point of call, a public account committee,
PAC,
and the chairperson, who will be. Honorable Abna. It's a problem, no, and then the way. And they are one.
Okay. All right. Clear. But quick one. My member Divine 1 minute. I mean, sign from Rameses. So Divine, with this issue, Obi send him a message. Said the branch and the kind say ad hoc committee can do investigations through the Gold Board. Do you think that we need to revisit the work of the Gold Board? Gold for Oil. Because I am the catcher. I say Gold for Oil. Jumano, emuyusum, and Tiasian said that enim, and now people are calling for full investigations. Yemfa Gold for Oil, Yemfa Gold Board. Let's see the dealings. Will you support it?
So when him say me earlier submission no na make say microphone na omo my suggestions na I say omo prescribe a draw amaye fancy ho yare no you say say obi so be ma wo kwatre so be ma wo to ma eya no atie ni din enti say wo hwe Sankrofo we mu all of a sudden I say omo antidote omo the magic wonder ebetumi di address challenges na ayi nyina ayi ni tuano na obisa ho say da be no all of a sudden no omunya saa adwen kese no because who say oh yeah good for oil oh yeah ajapa royalties any other initiatives or mankasa edigu akwemu a ebe hia say ye bedom wasuko
yes
na ya visit discussion no na ye hu say from that time ni nyina no how have you managed yeah resources no ye benya so fa so se ne se ne fata me de me gidi say enka ebeboa ebema niama animu awai adaho na ye clear no bi ehu de etuamu because on say sometimes you know unim before the kasa unim say sometimes omo pretend they be am say so be sometimes a person do boni an onim do ye pa no pretend so the tiewu onim
de wada ye nyane no
onim do ye pa no pretend say we dam but no onim do ye onim so no mudi ni komo na unya draw my attention no mo say enu ti de tuti aye inti tuti a because of this reason inti a sabi you pray asa inti ajimi ni asanso ko fa sa the same thing ni bio because you say you pay we inti ani asanso abase inti na say
well miracles abu just say Ghana for to about based on popularity, so the more you become unpopular then they vote you out.
No. You see,
popular. What does popular mean?
Yeah. Say your t-shirts are now we know they are not the same konwa. Ubo say sa na mu amonipa no do so ebo say mamono. Mu na mutimi le hie adwen ya adwuma.
Ghana for to about based on hisem. In so mutimi ma and this one here. No more we. Okay. The Ghana for don't vote based on issues. Debbie. That's what. Issues so be ejimi. Yeah.
It was Bobie. Time wa MPP NDC bar power. I wrote an open letter to the president. Say, you see, I did back one NDC for by this time and come my year and say, and near the sense of the SWA government, you know, I saw documented. Not like I yet to say book be and call out na mo kita because some of the things one man. Okay, say better make catch say me to be better studio. Me to be can say man go for say wakasa wonu say me see for man makai foforo. Ye nyina hwe ye di pa net ya ye di pa 1 2 3 4 5 ya analysis am your refi banking sector clean up. The refi say no, I'm saying that it came up later. Say refi obi refi me one a big deal.
It bid in the 60.
Yes, it was part of it. That Afrimax loan be na ekoji here no. It's embedded in discussion. He say all of a sudden you refi. Me say they must carry us along and by this time nema no her document no for her no more. Unim say the bia en common no okwa no ko hu fufuro. Okwa no ko hu fufuro.
Scandal every day.
Every day.
Scandal.
Every hour.
Every day, not every day. Scandal for say, hey,
yeah. You refi say to the extent so they made the loss losses no mu make COVID-19 loss, make banking sector clean up exercise loss. Introduce levy. COVID and banking sector levy. Ni na ba here because they made losses.
Aruna, just 1 minute. First also tell.
What do you say? Afenyo. I'll say. Now me catch you say Afenyo Markins. I say for no court.
Okay.
Because our first Samijemfi criminal by his analysis with the interpreter and in our constitution, once you criminalize somebody without evidence, in itself, is criminal. So we have to take him to court. For Afenyo Markins to tell us a dear Samijemfi we are here. Because who can say be a criminal, you need to prove. And yes. And then you're looking at the bail condition to the extent say you can criminalize somebody and
yes, like what threatening the existence
good. So we have to make sure as a country to let Afenyo Markins get to his limit. Because I'm sure say in the coming days, he would know his smoothness level and who born dog. Okay. Who born dog. So we need to appreciate the fact say Wemo, there would never be a day for them to love Ghana more than what they will earn in their pocket. Yeah.
And now senior mra. And senior for you.
I think say good board in the main co-obio. Yeah. Because I said from beginning, my say there were no losses, and if you don't understand, obi in tier no say, and I just say, wow, okay, nipa, or should I to us say order into me, no, and now my man who said, my catcher will say, Bank of Ghana and the Jumano, a hooker, and the king, na hooker and the DBI copy mu a near be a social indicator board, no so say a copy mu say forex dying, dollar no ton saying inflation dying. Inflation ni mu ni ama ye tototo o refidia adwadifo no so a kire se o gallon no si na moto no si na moto no nti wo de me nko obium kan ne yem say ebre na ama e kwan ne ye beka road ministry ho asem but my men kan tell say road minister manage na adwuma na o ye no ba Ashanti region BBC wo okoduru ho na regional minister na ye the all man report just other regions so they should take that inspiration say they should own the projects. Na omu huni ekoso they should take interest.
They should do follow-ups.
Exactly. No muti nya bibi na enya nhyiemu enye se ono obetia obi. Na adwuma no nso akopiem se ya me say companies me obetimi ayo. Ba hwe na adwuma na kodos wo mu nsem. Some of them should willfully come out and say ontimi nye. Na anko say honorable Agboja no any pabone. You can come back and say look, I'm on it. I'm not able to meet the timelines. I want to give it out. Na omunye enye. The final one once I'm an advocate for economic nationalism, that indigenization of our businesses and our resources. A gold, diamond, box, I do what to us. Fine, one in your many, or my be a new or Yasania mana, or be a fear man on it, FDI, foreign direct investment by man. It's time for us to think about our roles we play in there and profit us. How do you do that? I be a champion, make yourself for about 8-10 years. I've received insults from people who are professors and doctors, but I've won the battle because I've seen engineers and planners, any other companies in this country are, and then they've taken the fall, and they are the ones mining our gold. Yeah. In that, I'm talking about Adamos Casey Abaye. Okay. I am on this note applauding His Excellency the President for stepping in, and then Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Amabua, also for his wonderful detection and taking the action. But again, to protect our local businesses, no, President Eyinina Esim, I said, Papa Awofi said. On can say Fancha Damos or Patch say in Pepenso, we mummy mumbra. Mumay ye, as I say a Ghana dear. Our my ebimu free companies like a safi about neba almost one bayo medumana, almost one ebimu omutimi talk sini. Emma, ye shem mom. And tis a Ghana needs why ya Mumanko shem, Namu Hesi Amba Buano, Nedumani engineer, especially I say my catcher me a feminist. No, it is owned by a woman. And one, that is where I was crazily involved. Say, Oba, I didn't want Jima, Oba, and Kwandia, and man, you, and some Obasu, and you need to encourage them. Women-led businesses, no, especially women in mining. The patron, Metio Monka, your association, be I see about together, your boy, your voice, Kotumukakra, Yem say, Yebekoswa, Kosu say, Ghana, a be ye, dear, say, Bubi Uti, Goody, Ususika Kumbi, in your buy, your meme in your Guinea, nay, to your good. Obi be 2 dia sorry no so de kwa gold board bibi a wuti ya ntokoya ba hu say ye 2 year no ebribi no na ye de fada na chi a smuggling na ye de ko gold board ba yi me ka che o say o te say ye na do so a eku nkofo minu nti minu bi a me be kire o say obi o de fan chen na e de ko no ene ye do na akwa nti otimi fan ko biom until no be de sa thank you second group ni o mo a no mo de dollar na se pa me say dollar no mo de ase pa na se catch them say dollar no academ come on here say dollar na academ
how much you go all right thank you so much live on 100.5 Citizen Show all right so that's it okay so that's it
Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen